TCL is a proud sponsor of the Score North Studios. Enjoy more of the things you love with TCL.
Man, I've actually watched the Vikings a couple of times, and it's just like I know they have a top 10 offense, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like watching like Dalvin Cook hit the hole and like break for like a 60-yard run. It's like you're saying to yourself, like, look, I want to be blocking for a guy like that. Seeing Kirk Cousins throwing like a deep ball to Justin Jefferson, and it's like explosive plays happening all across the field. From anybody who's on the field, like you want to play in that type of offense.
You know, you've seen teams kind of manipulating around to make sure they got the guys they wanted. Everybody, you know, I don't want to call, you know, falls in love with a guy that they want to go get. And I think they're all going to be great players. I thought, you know, the team's made a lot of great picks, but, you know, all I can speak of if we were considering the guy strongly at 14 and still able to get him where we got him, that was a great night for us.
I told him don't answer the phones anymore. But, I mean, you know, we had several guys there that we liked, and, you know, obviously that Darrisaw was a guy that we did a lot of homework on. Our coaches did a good job. You know, Rick, the scouts, the coaches all did a really nice job of evaluating him and also the other guys that we had up there.
But we got a team in here. And this is like a chant. Now everybody come up here. We go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, what is up on this Friday night? Purple Daily, taking you through the rest of the second round and third rounds of this NFL draft tonight. It is the Purple Daily / Vikings Vent Line draft special. Mackey, Judd, executive producer Declan, and the drink of choice is seltzer for Declan and I. It is beer for Judd. Let us know in the comment section what you're sipping on in the YouTube comment section. YouTube.com/Purple Daily Podcast is where it's at. And all of this is presented by our friends at TCL. Enjoy more of what you love at TCL. Gentlemen, are you pumped here for night 2? We've already had about 11 billion trades in the first 10 picks of round 2. And Trader Rick has to be salivating over the potential chess moves he could make. Trade up, dude. What are you waiting for?
No, I'm worried. Man. I'm worried. Look, send a welfare check to Egan right now because what's going on? Rick hasn't traded up yet. Like, this isn't normal. What's going on? Rick, you got to trade up and make that trade right now.
Yeah, so right now we're sitting here, and we're not. It's possible we might go on some tangents, and we might not be updating every single pick. But whenever you hear Rick Spielman laugh in the background, that means an important pick is in, and we will let you know how that goes. Right now, it looks like the NFL tracker is a little bit behind. It still says the Lions are on the clock, but according to Twitter, the Lions have selected Levi Onwuzurike, and so now the Giants are on the clock with the 42nd overall pick. The Vikings have picks. Let me take a deep breath. 66, 78, 86, and 90 tonight, and 3 fourth-round picks. Tons of poker chips to use, and here is the main, we can all agree on this, the main mission for Rick. Don't use your picks to trade back and get 7th-round picks. Use your picks to trade up to get better players. Can we all agree on that? No 7th-round picks this year are needed.
Yes. And here's the thing. We are all on Team Zim because it's clear from the clip that Declan played, and he's right, that Zim is as bothered as we are about the perpetual need to trade back and get more picks. Like, I don't think that Zim does not do bits. I think Zim probably told him last night at 23, quit answering the phone. Like, I don't think that was but that wasn't a line. I think that was an actual thought.
Zim pulls a bow and arrow. I'm not kidding. Put the damn phone down.
I'm not joking, man. I'm not joking.
I will end you.
Quit answering the phone.
So here's how this is going to work tonight. We're just going to be sipping on some adult beverages, and we're going to be hanging out, watching the draft, and speculating on what the Vikings could and should do. We're going to mix in some discussions about things that have been happening with the Vikings last night and across the rest of the league, and some Aaron Rodgers updates as well. and we will be monitoring all of the comments in the Purple Daily YouTube comment section and popping your comments up on the screen every once in a while. And then later on, we'll open up the Vikings Vent Lines. Once they actually start making picks, we'll start mixing in your reaction, bringing you into the show with us. If you're new, welcome. We are Daily Vikings Entertainment. Purple Daily can be found in podcast form anywhere you find podcasts. Apple, Spotify, scorenorth.com is a great central hub for everything we do, including Mackey and Judd, The Scoop with Doogie, Royce Unchained. And if you're watching us on YouTube, please click the like button and the subscribe button. It helps spread the word and spread love about this show, and it boosts our fragile egos as well when we see our subscriber count go up. So looks like do we have another trade? The Giants are trading number 42 to the Dolphins. We've literally had like 8 trades already in the second round.
Yeah, exactly right. What's going on in Egan? Come on, Rick. Get up in that draft. Create some excitement. Get a second round pick.
So just looking at ESPN.com, they've got a live best player available. They're just updating it as we go here. We've seen a little bit of a run on some offensive linemen. There's still a bunch of there's a bunch of guys who the Vikings could potentially be interested in to help the interior offensive line. Walker Little is available from Stanford. Quinn Miners from Wisconsin Whitewater is a highly touted interior offensive lineman. There's also the Illinois kid, I believe it's Kendrick Green, who we've seen in a lot of third-round projections that could be of interest to the Vikings. And I would circle Trey Smith from Tennessee. He's currently the 5th best guard available according to the ESPN.com tracker. He's even higher up on Pro Football Focus's best remaining board. So we'll see if the Vikings make a move for an interior offensive lineman. But what are your thoughts? They've got 4 picks tonight. What do you guys want to see them do with those 4 picks tonight?
I'd like to see them take a guard. I'd like to see them take I think the first pick they take might be a pass rushing defensive end. I think they need to address safety. But here's selfishly the one I want, just because it's fun. I want a quarterback taken. I think a quarterback would be great fun. Like they need a backup. I'm pretty sure, folks, Sean Mannion ain't coming back. Okay, which I'm cool with. I would like to see them. If it's possible, take one of those 3 second-tier quarterbacks who are all on the board right now and at least start the process of making us think that you're developing a guy who's not Nate Stanley, Phil's guy, who was a 7th-round pick, or Jake Browning, who was signed as an undrafted free agent a couple of years ago. Both those guys were on the practice squad last year. I would like to have a viable young quarterback who you at least think they are developing. Selfishly, it's the most fun position. That's what I want personally. I think, though, the first pick that they take will be a pass rushing end because they swung and missed on 1 or on 2 or 3 in free agency. I was sort of convinced they might take one last night, and they still don't have one to go opposite bookend Danielle Hunter.
The Dolphins have just selected offensive tackle Liam Eichenberg from Notre Dame. So another offense. So Tevin Jenkins off the board, Liam Eichenberg off the board. So a couple big offensive linemen there. But in terms of tackles, the Vikings got their guy last night in Christian Darrisaw. Comment that was just on the screen that Declan pulled down, referring to Courtney Cronin asking Rick Spielman last night, hey, you had this, Justin Fields was falling to you guys, and there's a bunch of top 5 quarterbacks there. Your thoughts on passing on top 5 quarterbacks to take over for Kirk's bloated contract, right? That wasn't the exact way she framed it, but he was very short with his answer and said, we'll have to wait and see for tomorrow. Another
trade.
Wow.
San Francisco's trading number 43 to Las Vegas to the Raiders. Trades and picks are flying, per Adam Schefter.
Let's get it, boys. Declan, what do you want to see tonight? Declan, your mic's off.
This thing keeps popping in and out.
Oh, that's you. Okay. I thought that was me for a second. I was going, oh, my God.
No, the thing,
that is our executive
producer who is really good with microphones. It's not like it should be my job or anything to make sure that's on or off. Anyway, what I don't want to see is the Vikings trade up for a safety. I don't see a need to be taking a high draft capital at a safety. And look, Harrison Smith was drafted late first round. He's a generational safety. You might make a case he's a Hall of Famer. They signed Xavier Woods as a stopgap. You can find a safety with one of those fifth-round picks as a depth guy. I don't think you need to be wasting second or moving up to the second round to be taking a safety. I'd rather them go with an offensive lineman. If you feel like one of those quarterbacks is there, do that. Defensive end, I would be okay with trading up for. But I think the one thing I don't want to see tonight is them reaching for a safety, because I just don't think it's a position that's worth, at this point, reaching up and trading up to go get.
Okay, speaking of Courtney Cronin, by the way, who I love, she's changed her name on Twitter to Courtney R. Draft Scout, which is, I love it. So she poses the question here, or the notion, heck with all these trades, Minnesota may not need to trade up into the second round, especially if they're eyeing a quarterback. Who else besides Washington, between picks 51 and 66, even needs a quarterback? So let's go. Let me just for fun here, okay? So the Vikings have their Vikings pick in about 20 picks, okay?
Yep.
Now, some of these teams, it's possible they could be drafting backup quarterbacks, but it's so early to be drafting backup quarterbacks that you have your eye on strictly as a backup, right? The guys we're talking about, the Mond, Trask, Davis, Mills, those guys are probably backups, but you're drafting them with the hopes that they could be developed into starters at some point, right?
Right.
Oakland, Dallas. Probably a no for me, dog, on the quarterback front. Jacksonville, Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Probably a no on the quarterback front. As my browser's refreshing here. The Chargers, they've got Justin Herbert, so it's a no.
I'm sorry, who?
The Chargers.
Oh, the
Chargers. We've got to get out of here.
Get your picks, trade them back, get to the 6th round, get them out of the picks.
Grab a toy, bring it to the carpet. Grab your toys, bring it to the carpet.
Get to the chopper for the Chargers.
They've got a quarterback. San Francisco just drafted Trey Lance. The Cardinals have a young, great quarterback. The Giants, I don't know. Maybe they're not sold on Danny Dimes, so I wouldn't be shocked. Washington needs a quarterback, so that's one. They're probably going to draft a quarterback.
Yeah.
Carolina, maybe, but they also just with Sam Darnold.
I take one. So here's my problem, okay? With quarterbacks, this drives me crazy. Now, the Vikings often draft and or sign after the draft guys that are just pure backups, depth guys, right? But these next three guys are in that second tier of there's a potential that they are starters. In my opinion, those are the type of guys that unless I am just absolutely positive that I've got my guy and that he's going to play and that he is durable, those are the guys that I would look to take and develop, because you can never have enough. And you know what? Worst case, you develop him, he turns into a productive player. He plays some, and I know it sounds crazy, preseason games, and teams see the tape, right? So it drives me crazy when teams are like, we're good there. You're never good at quarterback. So these next three, unless you think they're not good, but these next three to me are very much in the tier where I think Declan's just going on a bender.
Every time you finish, crush it on your head like the Sandman from ECW.
So let me tell you something about this.
I think we can beat the Bears. I'll do my best, Tommy Kramer. I'll be great.
So you think John David Booty never got
Drew Lock, was a good guy.
Danny Dimes, I had beers with him one time. Anyway, the quarterback thing drives me crazy of like, we're good there. Because I think there are certain positions in all of sports where you're never really good. And if you think a quarterback is good, I would take him. Like I would take a quarterback who is a backup right now, but might develop before I would take, to Declan's point, a good safety. We think this guy's a good safety, right? I can find you a safety unless it's a great player. So I think that it's amazing in 2021 that you might say to yourself, we'll pass there when it's a quarterback.
Yeah.
You think I'm wrong? It just drives me nuts.
And I think because the Vikings, I think, so Doogie had some great reporting on this, that the Vikings were very interested in Justin Fields last night, and they were having discussions with the Lions to move up from 14 to 7, and the price was just too steep. They're doing their due diligence, right? And because they were so intrigued by the idea of trading up for Justin Fields, I think it guarantees that they draft a quarterback tonight. I think tonight. I think the third round or the second round, especially with how many, you got 7 picks for God's sakes between the third and the fourth rounds. Go get a guy that you feel like if things go south with Kirk contractually and he's not and a restructure is not in order, that you can just say, listen, this guy Kellen Mond or whatever might not be as good as Kirk, but you know what? We're going to save $40 million to the salary cap in 2022 and 2023 by moving on, and we can apply those savings to other positions around the field.
Yes.
Let's see here. Trevon Moehrig, the safety from TCU, who was the best or second best player on most consensus big boards, just went and they ended his slide. So that was that the Raiders, I believe, at 11, and now correct. Dallas is on the clock at, I say 11th in the second round with 43. Now Dallas is on the clock with the 44th overall pick. Vikings 22 picks away. So I think it's inevitable that they draft a quarterback tonight, and it just depends who they like and who's available out of that main group of probably 3 that we're talking about here. So that would be really, honestly, the holy grail for the Vikings over the next 5 years would be if they can make as much of a run this year as possible. You've bolstered your defense in free agency. You just drafted a big potential franchise left tackle in Christian Darrisaw, and Kirk Cousins is in his prime, and you're just looking to make a push this year, and you'll see how far you can go. The holy grail would be if you transition from Kirk Cousins sometime in the next year or two, get out from underneath the third and then next year the second highest cap hit in the NFL.
Yep.
And Kellen Mond, for instance, or Kyle Trask at $700,000 to the salary cap or whatever a third-round pick would make in 2021-22, steps in as your starting quarterback and is good, right? I mean, there's only probably a 20% chance of that happening, but there's a chance, and if it does happen, it's the holy grail because you'd now get to spend all of the rest of that money on a third wide receiver weapon or an edge rusher in free agency, right? You wouldn't have to sit there in free agency when Joe Thuney is the best available guard and the Chiefs can pay him $16 million and you can't, right? That's the luxury that you're afforded if you have a cheaper quarterback. So we'll see.
Yeah, and if they can go get a guy like that, now is the perfect time. Now is the perfect time. And the one weird thing to keep in mind was they very much, and I don't think that they would still do this.
Attaboy.
Do it on your head, though. I mean, if you're going to do it on your head.
Actually, you know what? If you're really tough, put it right on your where you got your vaccine shot. Just right on there. Just put it right on. Really test out that arm.
You know what? Yeah. The one thing, my arm never hurt. My arm never hurt.
Oh, mine was sore for a week, dude.
But I moved my arm a lot. So that was the one. That was a smart play.
Judd's my arm didn't work, but I have 6 blood clots in my leg that are just killing me.
You know what? I'm vaccinated, so that's fine. That's absolutely fine.
I can't feel the left side of my body, but my arm was great.
So to go back to my breakdown here, I think it was two or 3 years back that the Vikings brought in the quarterback from the CFL, Calgary Stampeders. And that's the dude that said, I'm going to come in and I want to compete with Kirk. And they're like, oh, whoa, dude, no. We want a backup, not a competition here. And I don't know if the guy was good or not, but there was clearly a hesitancy on the part of Spielman and company about bringing in a guy that perceived himself as competition for Kirk. I love the idea now, though, of bringing in a draft pick who's not going to compete with Kirk for the opening day job in 2021, but he is definitely going to be a threat at first and could develop. I think now is the time to pivot from Sean Mannion's your best friend and he'll help you out and he is zero threat to you to, you know what? There's some pressure now. Yeah, there's some pressure. There should be pressure.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I think it's this notion that, oh, you need a backup that's mostly just an assistant coach who doesn't pose a threat to Kirk. Wait, what? What are you talking about? The Patriots had, behind the greatest quarterback of all time, the Patriots drafted a quarterback in the second round as insurance for Tom Brady as he got older, right?
Yes.
I mean, Brett Favre was still mostly at his peak, and they drafted Aaron Rodgers in the first round 15 years ago. And then they did it again with Jordan Love, and I questioned the logic of that pick. Don't get me wrong last year, but you got to have something better than a Sean Mannion, just for competition's sake, for God's sakes. Just have somebody that has a chance to take over if Kirk, is out for a month with a clavicle injury or something. So here's where we're at. The Dallas Cowboys and the Jaguars are on the clock at 45, followed by the Bengals, the Chargers, and then the Niners, and the Vikings are about 20 picks away here in the second round.
The Jags also taking offensive tackle Walker Little off the board.
And a lot of people think he might be more of an interior offensive lineman in the league, but that's the Stanford offensive lineman that he was the highest, I believe, remaining offensive lineman on PFF's board. He was 26th on PFF's board, Walker Little. So if you trust PFF, that's a pretty damn good steal for them. Best available players right now, according to Pro Football Focus, Asante Samuel Jr., Terrence Marshall Jr., and actually I forgot about the linebacker from Notre Dame, my guy, Owosu Koromoa is how you pronounce his last name. Dylan Radins is he NDSU offensive tackle. Could maybe move to the interior. Rondale Moore, the wide receiver, and then Nick Bolton, the linebacker, are the best available. All of them are in the top 35 of PFF's overall big board, and we are now in the mid-40s in terms of actual draft position. Cowboys select cornerback Kelvin Joseph, it looks like, from Kentucky. So things are fast and furious tonight, man. This is great.
How are you boys going to feel tonight if your head hits the pillow without the Vikings having taken a guard, and when you wake up tomorrow with the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th rounds left, Dakota Dozier is still a viable option to start for the Vikings in 2021. I don't think he's going to, but my point is, if they don't take a guard tonight, we're now into that sort of we're dwindling as far as actual good competition.
The scenario you just laid out is impossible, right? There's no way that they don't take a guard with one of these picks tonight, right?
Dakota Dozier, yes, but Dakota Dozier started 16 games last season, okay?
Yeah,
the scenario for that was impossible.
But you've got 4 picks tonight. Now they could package a couple and move up to the second. Maybe they wind up only picking 3 times tonight. What 3 positions? So edge rusher, quarterback. Yes. So maybe those are your first 2, right? Are you going to draft a depth secondary player before? I feel like the interior offensive line. There's a lot of value tonight. So I just think it would be malpractice if you didn't take a guard tonight. So I would not sleep well tonight.
I'd rather have Brian Dozier play guard from Brian 8 on the screen.
Brian Dozier.
And another offensive lineman off the board here. There's a run on offensive lineman. Jackson Carman going to the Cincinnati Bengals. So run on lineman. So I don't know if you're Rick. There's someone popping off the board here.
Make the call. Get the haul.
Make the call,
buddy.
Make
the call. Get the haul. Come on, Rick.
Or trade the haul. Make the call. Just get the one guy.
Just get your ass over to the bat phone, buddy. Make this thing happen. Who just went? Which offensive lineman just went?
So I pop it. Walker Little? No, sorry, not Walker Little.
Walker Little just went for sure. Oh, Jackson Carman.
Jackson Carman.
So Jackson Carman, up until he just got picked, was the second best offensive guard available according to the ESPN big board. So these are names to watch if you're into interior offensive line play. All right. Quinn Miners from Wisconsin Whitewater is the best remaining guard on the board, according to ESPN.com. Wyatt Davis from Ohio State, Aaron Banks from Notre Dame, and Trey Smith from Tennessee are the 4 best offensive guards. Now, there's a lot of debate over Kendrick Green. Like, Kendrick Green is 10th best interior offensive lineman left on ESPN's board, but he's much higher on PFF's board. And I remember when we had our guy Tyler Fornes on from Climbing the Pocket a couple weeks ago, and he basically said Kendrick Green, if not for, I think there might have been an injury issue there at some point, but Kendrick Green maybe was a first-round grade, if not for whatever it is that I'm not going to pretend to do a deep dive on Kendrick Green, but but that's a name that's popped up a lot in Vikings 7-round simulations. That's right. I said Vikings 7-round simulations.
Football, baby. By the way, happy birthday to Reed on our comment stream. Just turned 21 today. Bought my first pack of seltzers to watch the draft. What a great day to turn 21. Happy birthday,
son of a
dude.
gun, Reed. Congratulations.
Birthday,
Welcome to adulthood. You can get pounded without having to worry about it now.
Yeah.
In a way, yeah.
Well, I mean, there's still responsibilities, but so it looks like we've got over 1,000 people hanging out with us right now. We appreciate that across a couple different platforms. You can help us a lot on the YouTube channel by hitting the like button and clicking subscribe so that we in turn can give you daily Vikings entertainment 365 days a year of the three of us knuckleheads talking Vikings. And we've got some plans this offseason to mix in some fun guests and some throwback episodes. So stick with us through the offseason as well, as we are about halfway through the second round here. And more than half of the picks have involved trades, I feel like. So this is a blast. If you're curious as to how ESPN has the remaining quarterbacks ranked, it goes like this. Davis Mills is the best remaining quarterback on their board. Kyle Trask is second. And Kellen Mond is third, followed by Jamie Newman from Georgia and Ian Book from Notre Dame.
I wonder if the Vikings would take a quarterback who they felt, if they're going to draft one, would fit in more to the system that they currently run. So like a Kyle Trask, which we can debate how good he is, and he certainly had some great weapons at Florida, but he would probably fit more into what they do with Kirk right now. I wonder if they would base their draft pick at least partially on that as well. I personally probably would not, but I could see a football team doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good point, because that's one way to look at it. I think I would look at it more as if you move on from Kirk, what type of quarterback would you want? And I think it would be nice in today's NFL to have someone who's a little bit more mobile. And if that's maybe that's Kellen Mond, someone who you don't have to have a perfect offensive line to make him feel comfortable, that he can flush out to the left or right, keep plays alive more often. I'll give Kirk some credit. He did a better job, for him last year of keeping plays alive and just being more improvisational. So he wasn't exactly Fran Tarkenton or Russell Wilson, running around from edge rushers,
a couple times, yeah.
But he was better and put a focus on being more improvisational. But, I think it would take the pressure off having to have a perfect pass blocking offensive line if you had a quarterback that could avoid pressure. And that's the way the league is going. I mean, it's a huge hindrance if you don't have mobility as a quarterback looking at the rest of the league. And a lot of people are going to say, well, look at all how many mobile quarterbacks have won Super Bowls? Right, but you almost have to throw the last 50 years out. Starting in 2017, basically, when Russell Wilson was at his peak and Cam Newton was at his peak, right? A couple years earlier. And all the quarterbacks that have come in the league since then, whether it's Deshaun Watson or Josh Allen, there's so much more mobility as a base skill set to play that position that if you don't have it, it's going to be tougher for your team to win.
Yeah, and I think there's a big difference between what we see in a Super Bowl and what wins that one game to what gets you there.
Yeah.
So you could be like, well, Mahomes struggled. Well, yeah, he struggled in that game because his line stunk, which I do want to get back to in a second. But what got them there? What makes the Chiefs offense tick literally for an entire year? Mobility, ability to improvise. I do think the Chiefs-Buccaneers Super Bowl is going to cause a pendulum swing, and I think we're seeing it with all of these tackles going off the board in the second round. I think it's going to cause a major pendulum swing in how much teams allow their offensive lines to deteriorate. I think we had gotten to a point where we're like, oh, guards. I mean, you can find a guard, right? And then the Vikings start Dakota Dozier, and we're like, oh, my God, you can't do that. I think the Chiefs game in particular and what the Buccaneers did is going to cause a shift now to say we might not have a perfect line, but what happened to the Chiefs can't happen. You can't be as good as they were and then get to that game and basically be garbage.
Yeah.
There's no quarterback that can overcome garbage.
Asante Samuel Jr. going to the San Diego / Los Angeles now Chargers.
Chargers.
At pick 47. The San Francisco 49ers are on the clock at 48 now.
Dude, Asante Samuel Jr. playing in the NFL. Like I'm 28, so I'm used to now players being younger than me, thriving and becoming superstars.
Dude, isn't that weird?
That dude was in the NFL in 2013. His dad was in the NFL in 2013, and his son.
Patrick Surtain wasn't. I mean, he hasn't been retired that long, has he? Patrick Surtain?
Didn't Samuel Senior?
Dude, Tutu Atwell's kid is a freaking prospect this year.
Didn't Samuel Senior pick off Tavares Jackson in the playoff game against the Eagles of the Metrodome?
That sounds right, Judd. I was there.
I think it was an out route, and I'm pretty sure that was Asante Samuel picked off that pass.
He had 2 picks that postseason. Must have been one of them.
And one was at the Metrodome.
His reference page.
Yeah, Declan, it gets worse from here.
Yeah.
it gets worse from here. You just wait. Because this kid will age now, and you'll be like, I saw his dad, and now he's retiring.
Real quick, I'm just going through the Pro Football Talk headlines from today. Rashad Bateman, I can bring offense everything Lamar Jackson needs. Love it, dude. I love Rashad Bateman to the Ravens.
It's great.
He's going to be a good pro.
Blast.
I think he's going to be a very successful pro.
No, I think you're probably right about that. A lot of people, I'm just kind of scanning through our YouTube comments here too. A lot of people are upset that the Vikings haven't traded up yet. Are you guys upset that the Vikings haven't traded up yet?
Not necessarily, but
I'd like to see him trade up. I'm getting sort of pissed off right now.
But I would like for it. I just want something to happen that's fun and splashy. I want that to happen. I don't want a trade up for a safety. You know, I want them to, if they're going to make this trade up, I want it to be something fun.
And the more that they don't, the more that Rick, it does not mean that Rick's going to hold to the principles of Rick, which means trading back and accumulating more picks. This is why I want him to trade up. I want him to give up some of the capital that he currently has so it can't be used to move back for more picks.
No 7th rounders.
Now,
7th rounders.
Zero 7th round picks and 1 in the 6th round. I want it to stay that way.
Yeah, and you have
not kidding.
It's not like you only have 5 picks. You have more picks starting at the end of the first round than any team in the draft remaining, and they're all before the 7th round. So the value you can get tonight and tomorrow night is so great. Speaking of fun, real quick here, I don't know if you guys saw this. It's a good time to get to this now because once we get to the 66th pick, the Vikings are just going to be rapid fire. They're just going to be bang, bang, bang. So I'm going to throw this out now here. This is from PFT. Jeopardy gig looms over Aaron Rodgers' football situation. On one hand, the folks at Jeopardy have to love the free publicity that the show is getting via the connection to Aaron Rodgers' football future. Whenever his options are discussed, the show gets mentioned. Since Rodgers could be the next permanent host, he could walk away from the Packers and football generally to do it. On the other hand, they have to be looking at the ongoing dysfunction between the Rodgers and the 16-year employer and asking, could that eventually be us? Rodgers has had a problem with the Packers for a while, although he has tried to craft a kinder, gentler image over the past year or so. Rodgers has a reputation for being prickly. Once, for example, he took issue with 60 Minutes doing a profile that characterized him as overly sensitive, prompting 60 Minutes to say basically, see, he's overly sensitive, right?
Right. Yeah.
There's also a fine line between Rodgers going after what he wants and Rodgers coming off as a presumptuous about the possibility of getting the Jeopardy gig. So, on some of the production side, they could perceive that Rodgers and or his representatives are using the show as a pawn in the broader chess match playing out between Rodgers and the Packers. This is the most amazing, baseless, speculative piece. But my question to you guys is, do you think Aaron Rodgers would quit football and go full on into Jeopardy if the Packers don't agree to trade him?
Yes, absolutely. For 1 year, for sure. Yes, I think he would retire. I think that piece is spot on. He's incredibly prickly. I mean, Favre was, but this guy takes it to, this guy's a drama queen too. He loves the drama. And Brett did in his own way. But Brett was truly, at the end of the day, all about football. Aaron is not. He likes the sport, I think, but I could easily see him, if he could get this gig and the Packers say, we are not going to trade you, too bad, you're stuck here. I could see him retiring. I could see him spending a year hosting something. He'd get some show. I mean, it might be Jeopardy. It might be something else. And then trying to come back. But yeah, I could see this. And in this case, I don't know who to blame the most because I'm not absolving him and I'm not absolving the Packers. And the entire thing has been a mess and both sides get blame, but I don't take sides here. The only thing I think is it would be great fun for him to take out his angst on the Packers by becoming a Viking.
I'm with you. I think it's going to happen. And at first, I thought he's going to have to go to an AFC team first. But the more the Packers dig their heels in, and the more leverage Rodgers has financially with the Jeopardy job, I think Jeopardy would love to hire Rodgers for $umpteen million a year to host that syndicated show, right?
Who's up for that job besides him?
I think Ken Jennings.
Because it's been a bunch of tryouts, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ken Jennings, Aaron Rodgers, and then there was another.
Is there an actor involved or actress?
I can't remember 100%. But yeah, there's a couple other people up for the gig.
Okay.
But let's say he decided, all right, screw you guys. I'm going to retire. He's going to pull a Brett Favre. How does that work? He has 3 years left in his contract. If he says, I'm going to retire, you won't trade me, and so I'm going to retire and become the Jeopardy host. Does that make it easier for the Vikings to sign him?
Well,
or
no.
would the Packers have his rights for 3 years in retirement because he's on a 3-year contract?
I think the Packers would have to renounce his rights to lose them during the time of that contract, which they probably wouldn't do, but they very well might trade him then. I mean, they clearly don't think that he's going to quit, right?
I mean, Schefter has him telling teammates that he's not going to play for the Packers anymore.
Right, but the Packers are I think, trying to say, we're in control of this. We'll tell you what and when. And he would literally need to walk away for them to be like, oh, we got a problem here, a big problem here.
By the way, the 49ers, who are on the clock, just selected the Notre Dame offensive guard, Aaron Banks.
Right on tackles here, or lineman.
Aaron Banks.
I'm telling you, the Super Bowl scare teams. Joe Buck, as Chris Cook here on our Twitter feed points out, Joe Buck is going to or has hosted Jeopardy as a trial, and he'd actually be good too. Oh. Sorry, Vikings fans, didn't mean to offend you by that. That is a disgusting act.
It's underrated.
By the way, my Wi-Fi just went out, but am I still with you guys? You can still hear me, right?
Yeah, you're good. We're a little pixelated there, but you're fine. On air production meeting. So, wait.
You just froze. Reboot, baby.
Mackey spilled a seltzer on the router again. Been there, done that. Come on. That's why, Judd, we keep the router and everything else away from the computer. That's exactly why we do that.
I got 3 computers here. I got Draft on one, us on one, and then the Twins and KC.
What do we got going on?
The router's here. The beer is here, okay? So, if I spilled my beer right now, I might ruin my phone. Probably not, though.
Sure.
And I'd probably take out a computer, but that's fine.
Okay.
Wait, hold on a second. He's checking in. Oh, from Mackey. F. Be right back. I wonder what that means.
Yeah.
My name's not Frank.
No, it's not.
It looks like we are going to the bottom of the first at Target Field, Declan Goff, and I believe the Royals did not score, and the Twins are coming to bat. Brady Singer on the hill for Kansas City.
And by the way, back on the NFL draft land, the Cardinals are taking Rondale Moore. I don't know what position is Rondale Moore. He is a wide receiver out of Purdue. So the Cardinals going, Kyler Murray getting a weapon there. The number 49th pick. The Vikings' first pick is not in the second round, so they have 3 picks.
They have
4 picks in the third round.
Yep, 66, 78, 86, and 90. Mm-hmm. And then they have 4, and I don't have these written down. Then they have 3 picks in the 4th round, which starts tomorrow.
So if there's 4 third-round picks, it's going to cost at least 2 of them to move up, right? At least 2?
Yeah,
would you have to package even possibly 3?
Okay. But yeah. 2 probably.
2 probably works.
I am to respond to a question I just saw on the screen.
Yeah.
I am drinking a Summit Extra Pale Ale EPA, which means I can't have a lot of them, or else I'll just start to pass out.
That's a
you
good.
gotta be very careful.
That's a good draft beer for me. It's a tough one for me to drink out of a bottle. One of those ones that's really good out of a draft, but I have a tougher time drinking that one.
Why?
Non-draft. I don't know. There's just some beers that hit specifically well in how they're delivered. Like a Northeast out of a bottle, a Grain Belt Northeast bottle, primo, love it. But out of a can or a draft, It's just kind of for me.
I'm not big on cans. I don't know why, but I feel like I've grown tired of cans. I'll pour a beer from a can occasionally now.
Sure.
But like I really value a good bottle.
Yeah. Oh, of course. I think. I mean, can you imagine if my White Claws and my seltzers start coming in bottle form? That's going to be dangerous. I'll be having even more recycling that I'll have to take out every Sunday night. More dangerous
than it's become for you.
Yeah, that's also true. It's a good point. It's a good
Byron
point,
Byron Buxton singles to left. He is unbelievable this season.
All right, I think our guy's back here.
He's back. You're back.
Man, it's like I would say like 3 times a week the last 2 weeks, once a day, but only like every other day. The internet will just go down, and I have to restart the router modem. So I think it's a router modem that might be on its last breath.
I don't know. Is the missus? I think it's the missus. She's sabotaging you. She's sick of all this draft stuff. She's like, my God, it's Friday night. We were supposed to go out tonight, and now here she is unplugging the modem. I hear it's a smart move.
Marriage turmoil here. Marriage turmoil.
Blame the government. Blame the government. The whole country's gone sideways.
All right, so what I missed? Looks like Rondale Moore is going to the Cardinals at 49. According
He's a nice player.
He burned the Gophers apparently too. I think.
I saw him.
That was a common occurrence against the Gophers for a lot of receivers this year.
He was like Bateman. He opted out and then he came back, and I think he got hurt. And I want to say his first game of the year was against the Gophers at TCF Bank Stadium. And then, as Phil said, in what became a very common occurrence in 2020, he burned the Gophers. He's a good player.
Yeah.
Hey, question off of that, because I think it's a legitimate question now, and I don't think there's room for him with the Cardinals. Where does Fitzy play? If Fitzy wants to play, I mean, the Cardinals depth chart at receiver right now is packed.
It would be a blast if he played 1 year in Minnesota. Now he has said publicly a couple times that if he extends his career, it's only going to be with the Cardinals. So obviously, if he Phil looks like he's broadcasting from a bathroom in the Death Star.
I know you're not a big Star Wars guy, but those panels, those like hexagon panels you have behind you, that's very Death Star vibes. I had that same thought.
What's the bathroom tie-in is what I want to know.
I don't know why it's the bathroom. Maybe because it looks like tile, I guess, or something. But it does have a lot of Death Star vibes. Yeah.
Rick, I am your father. Draft Kellen Mond. Rick,
everything is proceeding as I have foreseen. Yeah.
What were we talking about? Larry Fitzgerald? If he's going to play for a different team, the only team you would think it would be is the Vikings, right? Unless he's just chasing a ring, and then maybe he go play for Tampa and just go sit on the bench.
Yeah,
but the Vikings would make some sense if he's looking to play somewhere else. And yeah, like obviously he's not fast. He's in his late 30s. But he'd be a great leader.
Yep.
And if you're just looking for a third wide receiver to catch some passes on third down and be a safety blanket and maybe get open a couple times in the red zone,
yep,
you can find a lot worse options than Larry Fitzgerald. Okay,
absolutely, yes.
He would take on the Chad Beebe role, basically, Declan.
Which Declan would be very happy about.
That'd be great to get rid of that dumb special teamer that tries really hard. That's great. I'm really happy for him. I'd rather have Fitzgerald on this team.
What are people saying here? Are they saying Mackey just went?
So they were doing a prop
to the bathroom.
Yeah, I was at minus 200. I would say it's one of you two before that I would go. I'm the younger one. My bladder, I can hold for a long time.
Oh, so not going to be me. So there's betting odds on whether I just went to the bathroom.
But you didn't.
You did it. Did you?
Your internet crapped out, I thought.
You got to be kidding. You double dipped? Didn't you?
My internet crapped out, and as I unplugged it and waited for it to come back, I did go to the bathroom. Yes. I did go to the bathroom.
Wow.
I broke the seal.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, now you're just going to have to go again in 10 seconds.
Well, that's breaking the seal is ridiculous, okay? So you're just going to sit there in anguish and have your stomach turn and your bladder turn?
No, you got to really have to go, though. Like it can't be like it'd be convenient to go thing. You got to really have to go. And like last night, I had to go. I was uncomfortable. My legs were crossed by the time I got up there. That's when you got to go.
Toes are curled.
Oh my
It was like,
God.
oh, hey, so that fourth pick.
Kristen
Oh,
Teresa.
my God.
Oh God.
This is a great pick. Ah.
His eyes are yellow. The urine has come up to his head.
Stop.
His
Come
eyeballs.
on. That takes it too far. But to backtrack, Phil, I think that you bring up a great point. And the thing is, there would be no downside locker room wise to Fitzy being on this team.
Mm-hmm.
Like there would be zero downside. He would show guys like he for all the cliches, he is like the consummate professional. I mean, he works his ass off. He totally gets it. I think he would set a really good tone.
Yeah,
a really good tone.
Really, like, am I missing, outside of Thielen and Jefferson, who are two of the best receivers in the NFL, you got 3, maybe 4 slots for additional wide receivers. It's not like they're bursting at the seams with Stephon Diggs level talent, waiting to emerge. So there's a couple roster spots there where Larry Fitzgerald's not going to take anything away from some up and comer, right? All due respect to BC Johnson, Chad Beebe, like Larry Fitz would be a fun addition, unless he's totally cooked. If he just can't get any separation, even on a 3rd and 7, against a slot cornerback, that would be the question.
I think he can get some, right? I think
so too.
Some.
I think so too. Okay, best available players on the board. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah from Notre Dame, the linebacker that keeps slipping here. And he's the number 1 player on pretty much everyone's big board to this point. Is it pronounced Azeez Ojulari, the linebacker from Georgia, just went to the Giants at pick 50. So we are 15 picks away from the Vikings. And there's a lot of interesting names on the board, including, I believe, all of those quarterbacks we've been talking about. All of them are still on the board. Davis Mills, Kyle Trask, Kellen Mond, Jamie Newman, and then interior offensive lineman Quinn Miners from Wisconsin Whitewater, Trey Smith from Tennessee, who I like, is on the board. Ben Cleveland from Georgia, Wyatt Davis from Ohio State, Kendrick Green from Illinois. So a lot of options here. The question is, will Trader Rick stock up a couple of these picks and move up, or do they see enough value in just standing pat with the 66th pick here? They got the 2nd pick in the 3rd round. Also, a lot of write that down predictions at stake here, because I think we got a couple listener predictions. Declan, I think Judd, I think everyone almost has Vikings will somehow acquire a 2nd round pick in the draft. So we're all sweating these write that down predictions. By the way, if you had betting odds on executive producer Declan forgetting to turn his mic on, 1.5 over under. The over just hit.
Just hit. Bing. Write that down. Congratulations.
Declan, don't drink too much seltzer. It's
as my mic was off.
Skull. It's too late.
Yeah, it is too late.
It's too late. The man was crushing seltzers last night. Like
I will say,
out of style.
Your hair looks great tonight. I just
thank you.
Is this your Friday night hair? Like, is this how you go out?
I showered.
You tease it.
I showered this morning, and honestly, it's a very good bet.
Wait, Declan showered this morning, everyone.
Yeah.
Declan showered.
Thank you.
Right.
Appreciate everyone. If I'm wearing I used to get in this conversation with Rami every day, and he pointed it out on air, on video streams every day on Score North Live. If I'm wearing a hat, there is a 99% chance I did not shower that day. It's a almost guarantee, because I have this great hair and I don't want to style it, so then it looks all messy. So I throw it on a hat, and now it's my giveaway. I gave away my secret that if I'm wearing a hat, I probably didn't shower that day. But it is a thing.
Ladies, who wants some of Declan with a hat on? That's the question.
Hold on a second. I got a quick question off of that. Are you saying you didn't get in the shower, or you just didn't wash your hair? But you showered.
I'll be honest. I didn't get in the shower. I'll be completely honest with you. I didn't get in the shower.
Oh, boy. Okay.
We're segregated in our own studios. Phil's a country away at this point. I mean, my God, I only see you.
I'm in the Death Star right now.
Yeah, he is in the Death Star's bathroom.
In the country away.
We have another trade, by the way. The Browns have just traded up with Carolina, and so they are now on the clock at pick 52. Sam Cosmi, the offensive tackle from Texas, goes to Washington at pick 51. Why is that important? Because if you're looking at teams between basically Washington at 51 and the Vikings at 66, Washington was probably the main team that would look to draft a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just, in terms of what teams would be interested in quarterbacks, and there it is. Browns trade up for Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, the Notre Dame linebacker. So he's off the board finally. So Browns, and now followed by the Titans. Neither one of those teams interested in quarterbacks. The Colts just traded for Carson Wentz, so they're pretty committed to him, at least for this year.
Mm-hmm.
Steelers could be in the market for a quarterback.
Absolutely.
I would say they're very likely to draft a quarterback. The Seahawks at 56.
You never know. You never know what the future holds out there in the Pacific Northwest, Phil.
I have not been able to listen to any local radio, sports radio out here, so I couldn't tell you if they're like clamoring for a quarterback or not. The Rams, probably not. They just traded for Stafford. Chiefs, no. Panthers, maybe, but Sam Darnold. Saints, I could see drafting a quarterback at 60. So there's a couple bullets to dodge here if you're the Vikings looking for one of these quarterbacks. Or, I don't know, you could trade up with one of your 7 picks in the third.
What do you think a pick
round
would cost right now? So I get that the top of the second round might be fairly expensive, and Trader Rick might not like that. But with where we are right now, what do you think it would cost?
What pick are we at right now? 50, 52? 50. Washington just picks. We're at 52, right?
Okay.
So pick 52 is worth 380 on the draft value chart. The Vikings to move up from 66 is 260. So they'd have to find 120 points of value, which would be basically the 90th pick. The 90th pick is worth 140 points in value. So if the Vikings wanted to move up, 15 spots, they'd probably have to give up one of their 4th or 3rd round picks to do it. Would you?
Okay. Yes. Wouldn't you?
For Kellen Mond?
Yeah. Yes, I would.
Say the capital one more time. What would it be?
So you'd have to close a 120-point value on the draft value chart, okay? So you'd have to come up with 120 points to give the team that you're trading up with. And right now, the 86th pick is worth 160, so it'll be a little bit of an overpay. The 90th pick is 140, also a slight overpay. But so you probably have to give up the 90th pick, your 4th pick in the 3rd round, to move up into the 2nd round.
To take Kellen Mond right now. And
you'd still have 3 3rd-round picks, or I guess 2.
Oh, I guess if you play it like that, then yeah, I'd probably do that. Because then you would still have multiple 3rd-round picks. Yeah, I'd entertain it. I'd absolutely would do it.
I think
I would do it.
I think it would not be that hard. And again, you would get a player that you really want as opposed to trying to accumulate picks. Every time we get closer to where the Vikings are supposed to pick, we get closer to ideas of trading down. I'm telling you that right now.
Thor Nystrom, our friend from NBC Sports and fellow Minnesota Sports Masochist, tweets, Mel Kiper is the only human being alive that starts every sentence with, well, you think about. Well, you think about.
That's a very good observation.
Well, you think about Kyle Trask and blah, 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 blah.
God.
Gotta load up that take.
That's his God. Todd, 7 for the first 7 last night.
Really?
Good for Todd.
Todd McShay started off 7 for 7, which is no small feat.
Is that one of the great mock performances of all time?
The top of a draft with yes, for sure, right?
No trades, though, right? That? There were no trades in the first 7 picks. I think it went straight up.
Okay. Right. But he got the Bengals pick right, and very few people did.
Devin Shaw from the YouTube comment section says, Phil and I argued on Twitter in 2012 about Tsuyoshi Nishioka, and Phil won. What were Devin?
Well, yeah, you were falling on a sword over Tsuyoshi, huh?
Well, let's be clear.
What the hell are you arguing, buddy?
Let's be clear. Devin, nobody won. Nobody won.
Actually, that's not true. Nishioka's teammates in the clubhouse won because, little known fact, in Tsuyoshi Nishioka's contract with the Twins, it demanded that one of the traditional bathroom stalls be replaced with a Japanese bidet. And that bidet, as of a couple years ago, still sits in the Twins clubhouse for a nice, refreshing, splashy end to your number 2.
What's the difference between the Declan Goff bidet and the twin Japanese bidet?
Well, I am going to assume that, okay, so mine's a self-install. It's plastic. it's very easy to install. I love my bidet. I really do. It's great. I used to be someone, if with more bathroom observations and takes here, I used to be someone who I'd be fine doing number 2 outside of my own home. I just like, if I gotta go, I gotta go. I've always had that.
You're just gonna go anyway.
I would just go. I gotta go. Bye-bye. But now, since I got this for Christmas, it's a pretty hard sell. I have to hold urges now because now I can only do my business back at home. It's really difficult.
Then I don't want one. Really? So you don't tour at all?
I do. I will if in dire situations. But
right.
but I would prefer now to be back at home.
Do you need to use toilet paper if you have a bidet?
You still do, yes.
For drying off or for everything?
For mostly drying off. Wow. But it is significantly less toilet paper to finish.
I'm just going to tell you one thing, and then I'm done, okay?
Okay.
So the only bidet experience I have was when Dawn and I were in Chicago. We stayed at a hotel a few years back, and it had a bidet, which I thought was really cool, right? The only problem is a little bit of chafing because of water.
Well, that's probably, though, because...
Baby powder fixes that real quick.
Either 2 options. A little baby powder monkey butt will also fix that. 2, you probably weren't wiping good enough, which caused the chafing.
No, I was. That's no. That was not the problem.
I'm good on the details stopping right here. I don't need to know
anyway,
about
that's what I said. A little bit chafing.
Like Dominique says, let's get back to football. All right,
let's do that. All right, football.
Okay, who are the best available players? Give me
best
the best
bidet. Football's available.
Best available long snappers and SEC kickers. Why don't you run through those?
So it's funny because ESPN.com does actually have a best available long snappers list if you want it. Okay?
Of course they do.
The number 1 available long snapper right now is Thomas Fletcher from Alabama. Of course, the Alabama long snapper is the best in the country, right? Super disciplined because he's just fearing for Nick Saban, breaking his neck when he walks back to the sidelines. Ryan Langan from Georgia Southern, Colton Mengus from Alcorn State, and Scott Meyer from Vanderbilt are the 4 best long snappers on the board. There you go. See if the Vikings nab one of those guys with one of their 4 third-round picks. No, probably not going to happen. Quinn Miners is the best offensive guard on the board right now from Wisconsin Whitewater, Wyatt Davis from Ohio State, and Trey Smith from Tennessee. As far as defensive ends go, I'll give you that list because I think the Vikings and edge rushers are going to pair up at some point. Ronnie Perkins from Oklahoma, Carlos Basham Jr. from Wake Forest, Patrick Jones II from Pittsburgh, and Dio, I always butcher the last name here, but Adeyengbo from Vanderbilt is 4th on this list, and Rashad Weaver. One guy to keep an eye on in the edge rushing department, though, we've mentioned him a couple times, Cameron Sample from Tulane. Right now he's like 18th on the edge rusher board, but there are some that have him much higher, and a lot of people smarter than me profile him as someone that Mike Zimmer might love. So someone to keep an eye on. Probably not 3rd round, but maybe more like tomorrow during the 4th or 5th rounds.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's where we sit with some of the key positions, and obviously all the quarterbacks that were on the board to start tonight are still on the board right now. Davis Mills, Kyle Trask, and Kellen Mond. We should reset to here. This is Purple Daily. We've been rocking for exactly an hour on this live Purple Daily Vikings Draft Special, night number 2. YouTube, Purple Daily YouTube, and Purple Daily Podcast, anywhere you find podcasts. Phil Mackey, Judd Zulgad, Declan Goff, our executive producer, and all of this is presented by TCL TVs. Enjoy more of what you love with TCL, and you can help us out a lot. If you're discovering us for the first time, thank you. Now you're part of our daily Vikings entertainment community, and you can help us out by clicking the like button on this YouTube video and by clicking the subscribe button as well, and then in turn we'll give you daily Vikings entertainment, whether you like it or not, all throughout the offseason, all throughout the season. And later on tonight, we'll start to welcome some fans into the show with us once the Vikings actually start to make some picks, boys. So, I mean, I feel like there's been 60% of these slots have been trades so far tonight. So, Trader Rick, roll your sleeves up, buddy. Get on the phone, make something happen here. Give us something to cheers to.
Dylan Radins goes off the board to the Seattle Seahawks.
There it is.
No, the Titans. I'm sorry. I thought it said Seattle on TV screen, but it says
Yep.
The Titans on my board here.
Titans at 53 take Dylan Radins, and then
All right.
the Colts are on the board with the pick in at 54, and then the Steelers are on the clock now at 55.
And okay. And Seattle's at 56. That's why I got confused there. All right.
So we're almost done with the second round here. This thing is flying here tonight. Yeah, I think if you're the Vikings, if there's somebody that you love, trade up. But if not, stand pat and just don't look to acquire 6th and 7th round picks. Just stick to the players on your board in the 3rd and get players that have a chance to be impact starters for you, because they've done a pretty good job under Rick Spielman from time to time finding star players in these rounds. Danielle Hunter is the obvious one that has turned into one of the great pass rushers in franchise history, boys.
So once one of the second tier of quarterbacks goes, are we going to go on a run then? Is this a run, or is there some type of legit concern about all three differently, where they're not going to go as high as they might have been projected because they're quarterbacks?
So I think with the Steelers on the clock right now, I actually think this is the first sort of be on alert for a quarterback. Like the first wave of quarterbacks was in the top 15 of the first round. The Steelers could start the second wave on quarterbacks because they need someone to step in, unless they feel like that guy's on the roster right now. But I don't think they have anyone right now on their roster that's going to take over for Big Ben as a viable starter. So, or is it possible that the Steelers could be looking at the second round pick and all their other picks as just, how do we fortify the 2021 team? Maybe they're not looking ahead. Yeah. Maybe they're just looking at squeezing as much as they can out of Big Ben in 2021. I think he's cooked.
How much is left there? Yeah, I was going to say, how much is left there? Like his arm was basically gone. And I don't know that your arm comes back. Like if there's things where he had been, out of shape, something like that. But I mean, I think he got himself in pretty good shape to start last year. And I think his arm is just gone. So I don't think that you come back from that and find arm strength again. I think it's just that's it. So, and
he's also
you're probably right though about their approach.
You kind of see, some of the guys like Tom Brady at 45 looks 15 years younger than Big Ben at age 38, right? Mm-hmm. Ben looks like he has enjoyed the fruits of being a multimillionaire star quarterback, right?
And good for him.
Let's put it this way: Big Ben ain't sleeping in a hyperbaric chamber and making a kale smoothie in the morning.
Well, and Brady is off his rocker, so yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, and he's still and he looks younger than Declan at age 45.
It's true.
So
good for him. Good for him.
So I think he's cooked. And they might be looking to draft their quarterback of the future.
But you're probably right.
Why are people tweeting about the Macho Man Randy Savage?
I think there was an impersonation guy who came up and announced a pick dressed like the Macho Man. I think. I'm not watching the draft. The pick rises to the top.
Phil's concerned he was dead for a second. I could tell by your reaction to that.
Well, I mean, the actual Macho Man Randy Savage is dead.
Oh, he is dead. Okay.
Yeah, the real one died. And died tragically, while driving, and had a heart attack, I believe, while driving.
When was this?
I think 2011, about 10 years ago. I think about 10 years ago. Okay. Within the last 10 years, that I'm sure. Oh, there he. Never mind. The Macho Man is resurrected. Judd Zolgad.
Yeah, that's right, Zolgad.
A Macho.
The hat made the trip.
I've been dead for 10 years. I wrapped my car around a tree down in Florida. That's right.
Didn't you play baseball for the Reds?
In my system.
I thought your name was like Randy Pafko in real life, and you played baseball for the Reds.
That's right. I played a little baseball back in the 80s. It's right. That's when I first got introduced to the juice. That's right, Zolgad. Yeah.
I forgot you were dead, dude. I'm really sorry about that.
The cream of the crop. Yeah, the cream of the crop. Macho Mackey. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'd like to apologize for completely spacing out on the fact that you were dead.
Yeah. That's okay. I don't think it's too bad of an idea there. I don't think Miss Elizabeth's walking by either, which is, I think, what we really want here. But at the same time, that's okay. Good thing Phil didn't hear me say that, so that's fine. Hey, Phil.
Crush that in your head. Do it. Just crush that.
Not yet. I still got about another sip and a half left, and I don't want to. Okay. I don't want to have to deal with that, so I'm not gonna do that. Here's another one that they could possibly trade up for a quarterback, and I'm not sure if they're in the second round or not. What about New Orleans? I know they signed Taysom Hill to that ridiculous contract, but they also, I believe they can get out of it, right? Like the money's deferred.
Jameis Magic.
Is Jameis still there? I thought Jameis.
Yeah. No,
did Jameis stay put?
Oh yeah. He's likely to be the starting quarterback.
Yes. Eat the W, Declan. Eat the W.
But they're not like all in on Jameis.
No.
So
but
they could definitely still draft a quarterback.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. But
die out of the Colts. Did we already say that? Die out of the Colts at 22. Now okay. I think we already had that. And then the Steelers are in at 23. The pick is in.
Oh yeah. I don't have RU21 on this comment screen. I don't have a John Cena shirt. I mean, I liked John Cena kind of at his peak for a little bit, but he's like the most overrated WWE prominent superstar of all time, and I don't want to get into that conversation.
Tough to take a guy seriously who wears jorts for every match.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yep. Can't do that.
Can't wear jorts
for
a big title match.
Can't
brother.
do that.
That's right.
But if Dio's off the board, there hasn't been too many defensive ends going off the board yet, haven't there? I don't think there's been.
There have not been.
It's mostly offensive linemen.
Offensive linemen.
Yeah. So far, all right. Here, let's keep a tally here. So far in the second round, there have been one in terms of offensive linemen: Landon Dickerson, Tevin Jenkins, Liam Eichenberg, Walker Little, Aaron Banks, Sam Cosmi, Dylan Radins. So 6, 7 offensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
And we've yet to see the real edge rusher. This is not a deep edge rusher draft, though. So we're probably looking at 3rd, 4th round for a lot of these sort of project edge rushers.
Right.
We'll see. Courtney Cronin speculating a couple edge rushers came off the board in the 2nd round. That is a need for Minnesota. But, yeah, there are some interesting names, but there's so much more depth along the offensive line in this year's draft than at edge rusher. And so teams are drafting accordingly.
Another example of athletes feeling old, the Vikings just tweeted out a congratulations photo to both Trey Lance and Dylan Radins, and they were honored on all high school teams for Minnesota. And Trey Lance from Marshall was on all-state team in 2017. So the Minneapolis Miracle year, he was being honored as a high school student. And now he is the 3rd overall pick in the NFL draft. It's crazy how fast time flies right there again.
No, I expected now, Declan. You see, it's crazy to you. To me, it's just like, it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday, and I'm old. I mean, that's the thing about it is you guys it's like you blink and the day has changed, and then the year has changed, and it just goes on and on.
The Steelers have made their pick. Tight end from Penn State, Pat Freiermuth. Tight end, the Pittsburgh Steelers. So now the Seattle Seahawks are on the board at 56, which means we are 10 picks away from the Minnesota Vikings being on the clock.
I am surprised that not one of those 3 QBs is gone. I'm a little bit surprised. I really thought somebody would at least take one of them.
Well, and so this is a legit. Now we're within range here.
Yeah, let's break this.
The Vikings probably didn't want to. They probably didn't want to trade up super high into the 2nd round because I'm sure they'd love to keep as many picks as they can in that 3rd round. And so now you're kind of getting into the range where it might not cost you a 3rd to move up into the 2nd, but the Seahawks are on the clock. They could be a quarterback team depending on how they feel about the Russell Wilson. But Russ is under contract for a long time, so I would think that their focus should be on making him happy and smoothing over the angst that existed with his offensive line comments, right? That should be their focus.
It should be.
I don't think they're drafting a quarterback at 56. So the question here is who would draft a quarterback between now and when the Vikings are on the clock at 66? I don't think the Seahawks are. I don't think the Rams are. Chiefs, no. Panthers, maybe. Mm-hmm. Saints, maybe. Bills, no. Packers should be a no.
Should be.
Who the hell knows what's happening with them right now? They got Jordan Love, so that's probably a no. Chiefs, again, no. Buccaneers, maybe? But not this high.
Yeah,
right?
They could. I mean, to me, it feels like if you like one, you take one. But they've all dropped, which leads me to believe that there's more red flags potentially surrounding these 3 than the draft experts thought. Because I thought that there was an expectation that at least a couple of them would go in this round, but perhaps I was wrong about that.
So basically, even if one of these teams picks a quarterback, and I really don't think any of them are in the second round. The Vikings are in a prime spot to for sure get one of the three, and maybe even pick which one of the three they want.
And I'm going on the record, right now as saying the Vikings take a defensive end with their first pick of the third round.
You like writing things down?
The Vikings are going to take it. No, I did not say write that down. The Vikings, I have to protect my averages and my completion percentage, and I'm not going to give up the lead that easily. But that being said, I think they take a defensive end first with the first pick tonight.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, Dex? Do you think they take a quarterback here at 66 coming up?
I think they could, especially with the way it's falling out right now. I mean, all three of those top quarterbacks are still on the board in Mills, Trask, and Mond. I can see it, and it might not even be worth trading up. They could fall to them. So at this point, you might want to just let the board play out a little bit.
Yeah, I think they take a quarterback tonight. I don't think it's
I agree with that.
Their next pick.
I agree with that, yeah.
Yeah. I think what they're going to I also think they're comfortable. This is just pure speculation, just reckless speculation, if you will.
Reckless speculation.
I don't think they are desperate to sprint to the window and take the first. I think they might wait till a run starts because, like, they've got picks sort of perfectly spaced apart, like 10 picks each, right? 66, 78, 86, 90. Once the run starts, then they can look and say, all right, the run has started. Maybe now we have to trade up a couple spots to assure that we get one of the other two guys. And maybe they put Jamie Newman in the group too. You know, there's some people that have Jamie Newman higher than some of the quarterbacks that are like Kyle Trask, Mond, and Davis Mills. Mm-hmm. But that's kind of where the line is. After that, I love Notre Dame and Ian Book, but like he's not in the same category as Kellen Mond and Kyle Trask. So I think they take a quarterback tonight. I don't think they run to the window and take a quarterback with their next pick. I think their next pick is devoted to helping the team in 2021.
Quarterback at 78, which is the mid of their three third round picks. Quarterback at 78 is my guess. Defensive end, quarterback, and then it's sort of a crapshoot. They might take a guard with their last pick. Much to Declan's dismay, I could see them taking a safety because Zim's going to start to panic here about what Zim wants. I mean, he's going to want a safety, and he wants a guy that can rush. And despite the fact that we could talk about what they currently have on their roster for options at right defensive end, I don't think they're satisfied. I think that they see those guys as legitimate depth guys, but not necessarily starting talents, or at least they'd like to up the competition.
Mm-hmm. You know, this Danielle Hunter conversation is kind of just it's died down since the Athletic article was written about a month back. Mike Zimmer and or Andre Patterson and or somebody from the Vikings coaching staff had a conversation with him and said, dude, we love you. Just pump the brakes on this contract stuff for a minute. We'll take care of it. Do you think it gets taken care of? I guess what's your confidence level that as we sit here and the Vikings fix their defense through free agency, but like all of it hinges on Danielle Hunter being healthy and happy?
Yeah. Okay, I think they had a conversation with him at which they said, you have to calm down. We can't do it right now. We're up against the cap. We will take care of you. I think he backed off. Now, my question is that legitimate that they're going to come back to him, let's say in July, and make him an offer that he feels comfortable with, or is he still going to balk? I don't think they're out of the woods yet, but I think that they bought themselves time. If that makes sense, I think they bought themselves time. I think he went from being disgruntled and perhaps saying that he wanted to be traded to them being like, just calm down, we'll do right by you. The next step to me is seeing when they come to him with the offer, and if that's going to be in July, which is my guess, what that is. I don't think that there's now it's a 100% guarantee that he shows up at camp, but it's probably trending in a lot more positive way than it was, let's say, in early March.
Yep. I think if they were going to make a move, if things were just beyond repair, I think they would have traded him before the draft. You know, if it was, God, his contract demands are ridiculous. We're unsure about his injury status. I think they would have dealt him for a first or a second round pick or something. And because that didn't happen and he hasn't really expressed any more displeasure, I think they told him, dude, we'll take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
Just please, We're trying to fix this thing. We're trying to restructure 1 million contracts. Kirk turned us down on a restructure. Just, we'll make it work. Don't worry about it. And I'm fine with it. I know that there's risk, but you need guys who can make opposing quarterbacks uncomfortable. You need offensive linemen. You need offensive tackles, a quarterback, wide receiver weapons, and pass rushers, and a couple cornerbacks minimum if you want to compete in the playoffs in the NFL. And so I'm okay with giving Danielle Hunter a bunch of money. By the way, the latest pick here, the Seattle Seahawks, in an effort to make Russell Wilson happy, have given him another target here. Dwayne Eskridge, wide receiver, Western Michigan, goes 56th to Seattle, and now the LA Rams are on the clock at 57, followed by the Chiefs.
There's also part of the thing, to go back to the discussion between the team and Hunter. There's also a very good chance that if they talk to his agent candidly, they said, let me get this straight. You're demanding a trade, or like you're ticked off and are suggesting that we should trade you coming off neck surgery. Okay? Because if you think about that, are you going to give like if you know that he's 100% healthy and just PO'd and you're going to trade him, that's a first round pick for sure. It's a slam dunk. But neck surgery in football is a big deal. I could see a scenario where if the Vikings did at some point in March make some calls, teams were like, hold on a second here. You want a guaranteed like first round pick for a guy that we don't know. So like there's a dance there that is probably fairly delicate about seeing him get back on the field and proving that he's the same guy that he was in 2019. Because this is not like a tweaked ankle, right? Or a knee, which can be a concern, but I think you can quantify those things pretty clearly. When you get to like concussions and necks, that's harder to do. So I wouldn't be surprised if part of the Vikings platform to tell him to calm down was, it's not like we can take you to market and for sure get a high first round pick until teams see you.
But do you think there's any chance they enter because he's under contract and it's an amazingly team friendly contract?
Yep.
Is there any chance he plays for the Vikings in 2021 without a restructured contract?
I don't think so, unless he's had a complete change of heart. I think he is going to just crush against your head. I asked you
two
before.
Down. I'm not going to go against the nog. This face has to hold up the show. Okay, look at the hair, the face. If I damage this, then we got problems.
Bite the empty can in half, you coward.
I paid so much money for these teeth. I just paid them off a couple months ago. That ain't happening either.
You're so plastic.
I am plastic.
I am
fake.
Fake.
I am fake. I made a horrible decision to do 4 new teeth 1 month before becoming full-time with dental insurance, and I paid the price literally for that decision. So that was my fault.
Here we go. I love it. Chris Cook is the star of this YouTube comment section right now. As not that Chris Cook, a different Chris Cook.
I'm about to say.
Yeah, we don't need that Chris Cook.
This Chris Cook says, sorry, this is scrolling so fast. It went by fast. Here we go. Can't ruin Declan's face care routine, skin care routine.
No, man. No. This is a delicate process. Okay.
But I mean, you got fake teeth, you got the skincare routine, you've got the teased up hair. It's there's just a lot going on.
This product has been in for like 12 hours with this. I showered 12 hours. This looks great.
I hate product. I absolutely
you don't need product. Your hair is what it is. I need it.
Ooh, okay.
What do we got?
The Rams have taken local connection alert. The Rams have selected the son of former Gopher football wide receiver Tutu Atwell, Louisville wide receiver Tutu Atwell. The Gophers had Tutu Atwell and Ryan Thelwell as the star receivers when I was a kid back in the 90s. And he goes 57th to the Rams. So now the Chiefs are on the clock. Little wide receiver run here. Chiefs are on the clock at 58. So the Vikings are 6 picks away. We're almost done with the second round here on night 2 of the NFL Draft. Also, a huge thank you to our friends at Federated Mutual Insurance Company. I'll get you this one here. So Federated they've been around for over 100 years, and Federated has been making businesses successful behind the scenes. Risk management, peace of mind, risk management tools. Find out more about how Federated can help your business at federatedinsurance.com. And remember, at Federated, it's our business to protect yours. It's like a left tackle for your business, really. I mean, it's like Christian Darrisaw coming in
It's a
with
Pro
his
Bowl left
long
tackle.
arms and saying, no risk, stay away.
Not the short arms. It's not a short arm guy, because that's not that type of protection.
Someone took a screenshot of, let's see, the Rams have a Roger Goodell portrait on the wall at their draft headquarters. It's true.
Well, you saw that, right?
They literally it's
they
an
rented
empty
a place,
wall, and there's a Roger Goodell portrait on the back of the.
The Rams rented a place, I thought, on the ocean, and are like conducting their draft from like some house that they rented.
Genius.
It's, let's see, Rams and draft headquarters in the Rams.
Well, that was it the Rocket Mortgage, all the stuff there at McVay's household? Like, I just imagine the conversation of, hey, honey, we got to let in the Rocket Mortgage guys. They got throw pillows on. We got the grill cover. We have, like, all this Rocket Mortgage stuff. It's absolutely hilarious.
The Rams turned a 9,000 square foot Malibu mansion into their draft headquarters. 9,000.
So they just like went on Airbnb.com and said, what's the most expensive place on 100%. The ocean? All right, let's do it. How 9,000 square feet?
Declan's right. Yep. Partnership with Rocket Mortgage. They converted a massive 9,000 square foot Malibu mansion into their draft pad with an infinity pool and a views of the Pacific Ocean. That's where they're drafting from. Life is tough.
Hard life.
Boy, the NFL really hit hard by COVID financial losses in 2020.
It's been
just a
it's
really
been awful.
tough situation for everybody involved.
It's been awful.
Okay, can you imagine? Like, I'm sure all these teams laid off a bunch of like behind the scenes employees.
Yeah.
You know, if you're like Connie the receptionist and you got laid off from the Rams and you saw that they just rented a 9,000 square foot mansion on the ocean just to have. For no reason at all, right? Like, they could easily just do this from whatever lavish facility they already have in Los Angeles. And you got laid off from the accounting department or something, and these yahoos are just making it rain on the ocean, drafting whoever the hell they want, Tutu Atwell's kid.
Yep.
Amazing.
Life is rough being Sean McVay.
God bless America. All right, the Chiefs pick is in at pick 58 here. So we'll see what sort of... Oh, here it is. All right, the Chiefs have selected Missouri linebacker Nick Bolton with the 58th pick, and that puts the Panthers back on the clock at 59. Very interesting. Okay, a couple teams that could go quarterback here, maybe?
Yeah. Absolutely. Nick Bolton, Missouri. Okay.
Best players available here. Let's go back to the ESPN.com board because we're within striking distance of the Vikings. I think this is definitely a spot where they could trade up if they saw someone they liked. Ronnie Perkins, defensive end from Oklahoma, is the best player available according to ESPN.com, followed by Carlos Basham Jr., a defensive end from Wake Forest. So I don't know how the Vikings feel about those two guys, but the two best players available on the board right now, according to ESPN.com, are edge rushers.
Yeah, it's perfect for them. They will take one of them. You can write that down now. I just said it. You can write that down. They'll take one of those.
Write this down.
Edge rushers.
You like writing things down.
That's right. I'm getting bolder. I'm getting bolder as I consume the rest of my extra pale ale from Summit.
Someone was asking earlier if you were hungover during this morning's episode of Purple Daily.
I had one beer last night. No, unfortunately, I wasn't.
I mean, you might have been tired. We all were
tired.
Late.
I was tired.
I was up late. Yep.
I took a little nap. I feel good now.
Oh, good for you.
I love a nap.
Yeah,
underrated.
Did not get one
the greatest thing ever.
Did not get one in this week. It was too crazy. It was too crazy.
Are you a daily napper?
I try to get one in. The key is the 45-minute time limit. If you can make it 45 minutes tops, because then if you go over, it can mess up your whole sleep schedule. And I usually go over, and that's the problem. If you have to keep it at 40 minutes, though, you're going to be rock solid.
Yeah, you ever wake up, like, especially when the days are short in the wintertime, and, like, take a nap, you wake up and it's dark and you're all confused.
What year is it?
You don't know what's happening.
Yeah, that does sort of stink. I agree with that.
Cameron Dantzler, Vikings cornerback, tweeting Terrence Marshall at Vikings eyeball emoji.
Okay, so he's the wide receiver from LSU. Interesting.
yeah. You think Zim's going to allow that one? Wide receiver with
I mean,
Justin
Justin
third
Jefferson.
wide receiver. They do need a third wide receiver. They've needed one
Chad
for
Beebe.
years.
They got Chad Beebe.
That's not a wide receiver.
That's what
That's
I'm
a
telling you
feel-good
guys.
story.
I'm telling you guys, Fitzy is out there. He can end his career. It's the perfect ending.
Declan,
All
don't
those years
disrespect
with the Cardinals.
bloodlines. Stop disrespecting
Yeah.
NFL bloodlines.
God.
What are you talking? What are you doing, Declan?
Oh, okay. All right.
Hmm.
Hey, Jared Goff. Jared Goff has a bloated contract. I have a bloated I'm all for bloated contracts. Okay, I totally get it. I get how it works.
They got all the Goffs have bloated contracts.
I get it.
So many bloated contracts. I love Brenton Atkins' comment here on YouTube. Please
Yes.
just get a damn guard.
Please.
Please. Just.
Brenton.
I mean, who's right now? If the season started today, who's the starting left guard? It's Mason Cole, right?
It's Mason Cole. It's no way it's Dakota Dozier.
It's probably Mason Cole. So Mason Cole was the starting center for Arizona last year, and he was one of the worst graded pass blocking centers.
Why are we so sure that Mason Cole, just because his name is not Dakota Dozier, would be an upgrade on Dakota Dozier?
Well, all right, just for fun here, this is the Vikings starting offensive line right now. So Darisaw, rookie at left tackle. I think Mason Cole, he was better as a left guard in 2019 was his only, and he only played a handful of games, but 2019 with the Cardinals. Otherwise, he's been a center and not very good. And then Bradbury at center also hasn't been very good. Ezra Cleveland was probably the Vikings' third best offensive lineman last year behind the two tackles.
And he was new at right guard. I mean, he hadn't played right guard.
And Brian O'Neill. So you're still, on paper, as you think about their best case scenario, right? You're thinking O'Neill is solidified. You're thinking Ezra Cleveland gets better. You're thinking Darisaw steps in as a franchise left tackle, but there are no guarantees. Darisaw might need a minute. It's not a guarantee he just steps in and is amazing. And so even if you draft a left guard here, let's say you go guard with one of your next couple picks here, third round, whatever, maybe you trade back into the second round. I still hesitate to put two rookies on the left side of your offensive line with Kirk Cousins as your quarterback. So with that, unless you sign somebody that's still a free agent right now, Mason Cole probably is your starting left guard to start the season.
Or as we talked about, I think last night, the potential is whoever we're talking about at left guard right now actually flips to right guard, and Cleveland, who played left tackle in college, plays left guard.
Mm-hmm.
That's plausible too. My biggest question mark, because I think it's still a question. I think it's fair to say that he is tracking towards being a disappointment, but we're not there yet, and we will find out for sure this coming season, is Bradbury. That's my biggest question. Because this is a franchise that's had a long line of good, really good, at times Pro Bowl centers, and they've been very effective. And that's the most stabilizing force. Like the left tackle is the most important athlete as far as blocking and rush ends, and that's fine. But center is the guy that sort of stabilizes that line, and it takes a combination of being a good athlete and a really smart person. And Bradbury right now can run block, pass protection, he's questionable. And if he has another year where he's sort of getting ragdolled around, you've got an official problem. So I really think, to me, he is the biggest guy as far as he's going to have the job. What does he do?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to get every chance to succeed or fail. But the third year is probably it. Like if he's not good, you've officially probably got to start to look for his replacement, Phil.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like this is the longest they've gone with poor center play in my life watching the Vikings.
It's close. Yeah.
I mean, they had Jeff Christie all throughout the 90s, and then Matt Burke came in, and he was fantastic, right? I mean, Jeff Christie, I guess, more late 90s, early 2000s. And then Matt Burke came in, and John Sullivan.
No, you're right. It was Jeff Christie. So I think they got Christie off the scrap heap from somebody, moved him to center, and turned him into a great player. But no, they drafted Burke in 98, I think, in like the 6th round, right? And then you're correct. I think he became the starter in like 99 or 2000.
Yeah.
And so Christie was gone. I think he signed with the Bucks. But yeah, you're right. They've had a long line of just really reliable, good players at that position. And to go back to what I said, the worst part is in pass protection, Bradbury still gets ragdolled too much.
I think we have a pick in here at 59. The Panthers, there it is. The Panthers will end the wait for LSU wide receiver Terrence Marshall Jr. He has been selected by Carolina at 59. So that was quick for Cam Dantzler. Now the Saints are on the clock at 60. And I'm scanning through the Purple Daily YouTube comments here.
There's a lot of good ones.
A lot of people upset that Rick has not traded up yet. Is Rick rippable for having 4 third-round picks and 3 fourth-round picks of ammunition? And we're a handful of picks until the second round is over, and he hasn't traded up.
Jury's out. I'm not ripping him yet.
I'm not ripping him yet. Here's one I don't think he's come off the board yet, and I thought he was going to be a second-round pick for sure, and that was Brady Christensen. Has Brady Christensen come off the board from TCU? I don't think he has.
Pretty sure he hasn't.
That would be someone I think you take a chance on. I think that's someone if
BYU.
BYU, yep, not TCU, sorry.
And no, he has not.
That's someone I'm keen on. Our guy Tyler Fornes, when he was on with our mock draft, said it would be a good pick. I would look at him to possibly get up.
But is he? So he's listed as a tackle. I mean, all these guys. Once you get offensive linemen like in the middle rounds, all of them can be shuffled potentially. Is he a tackle or could he slide to the inside and play? So here's the scouting report. He has very short arms for an offensive tackle.
Hold on, I'm demonstrating.
And his technique is inconsistent.
Hey, stop!
They love the Vikings love those long arms. So Doogie was saying yesterday about Darrisaw. They love.
You know what they've done? I give him credit.
Gadget arms.
I give him credit here. The Vikings have, for the offensive line, they have taken the baseball philosophy of shortstops to left tackles. Cleveland, left tackle, now a guard. O'Neal, left tackle, now a right tackle. And Darrisaw, left tackle, will play there. But 3/5 of their line is now made up of guys who in college played that spot.
Yeah.
Which I think is sort of the baseball shortstop philosophy of if you can play shortstop, you're just damn good.
Yep, another pick is in. We're moving fast here, almost to the end of the second round. Saints taking Ohio State linebacker Pete Werner. And I think that means the the Bills are on the clock now.
All right. So we are at pick what now?
Pick 61. The Bills are pick 61.
Right. So we're 3 away.
I'll be back.
Oh, is there compensatory picks in round 2 though?
We didn't tell Declan there was going to be math involved here.
Oh yeah. Well,
66.
Got it.
All right, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Because I need to go freshen up with another delicious summit.
Judd here for insert beer company here.
Hey, do you want to advertise with me?
If you'd like to advertise your beer on Score North properties, including Purple Daily, send an email to @pmackey@scorenorth.com.
There's nothing like watching a Twins ball game and drinking a cold beer on a Friday night. Hi, Zolgad here.
Speaking of Twins ball games, Alex Kirilloff with his first major league home run, a 3-run blast to put the Twins up 4-0 across the street here, Target Field.
And he flew out to the fence and at bat won, so he's beginning to hit.
Yeah, Phil Mackey here. If the Vikings don't draft a quarterback sometime tonight for Bullet Bourbon. Bullet Bourbon is sure to knock you on your ass after just a few glasses.
Wow.
If the Vikings don't draft a left guard tonight, Bullet Bourbon all around.
I have the same liter of bourbon as well looking at my dry shelf up there. But my problem is, and I didn't do it for my video audience here, my issue is if I mix liquors. So if I go from seltzers to beers or even beers to liquor or hard stuff, I get super blotchy. Like I break out and I get super, super, super blotchy, and it's just not something I want the YouTube audience to experience yet. If they ever see me in person, if they see me out at the bar, now that vaccines are coming out, you might see it actually out in public, but it is something that happens. I get really rashy and blotchy, and I'm very self-conscious.
If we see you blotchy, it means you've had like three different drinks.
Yeah, I'm definitely at least a half a dozen drinks, literally plural in of those things. Absolutely. It's very true.
Oh man. So yeah, and by the way, as you guys we'd love to know what you guys are sipping on too. So throw it in the YouTube comment section here on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. Mackey, Judd, who is currently indisposed, Declan, our executive producer. We were live last night for like 5 hours. We're in it for the long haul tonight. And if you're new to the platform here, Score North, we produce Purple Daily every day, Mackey and Judd every day, and you can find those on Apple, Spotify, scorenorth.com, Purple Daily YouTube, Score North YouTube. And we are your home for daily Vikings and Minnesota sports entertainment here. We're doing stuff different. We come from an old radio background, and we're learning how to YouTube and how to social media, and so we're having fun. The best thing you can do to help us is click the like button on this YouTube channel and the video you're watching. Help spread the word about the show tonight, and click the subscribe button so we can entertain you on a daily basis through the lens of Vikings football. So we're sitting here. The Bills are on the clock at 61. The Packers are in the on-deck circle at 62, and the Vikings are just a handful of picks away at 66. And a lot of people, Dex, are pissed that Rick hasn't traded up yet.
Yeah.
He has all this capital.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a Judd here. I don't think I'm that upset. I know there was a run on offensive tackles and offensive linemen, I should say, to start the second round, but I still think you're going to be able to find interior guys here in round 3 and 4. Don't waste significant capital, especially moving up and mortgaging more of those future picks just to do that. I wouldn't want to do that. So I think they're in a good position here.
Yeah, there are so many offensive linemen on the board, and we haven't seen we haven't really seen the run on edge rushers yet. There's been a couple off the board, but there's also just not that many great edge rushers on the board, period. But according to ESPN.com, the 2 best overall players available right now are both edge rushers, Ronnie Perkins from Oklahoma and Carlos Basham Jr. from Wake Forest. Jabril Cox from LSU is an inside linebacker. He's 3rd on this board. Elijah Molden from Washington is a cornerback. He is 4th on the board. So there's most of the best players available are defense right now, according to ESPN.com. Right. I hear Judd in the background.
Just talking with Mrs. Zolgad, talking to the dog.
Just yelling at clouds.
Yeah, yes. Stella! Dang it, Stella!
All right, the pick is in.
Darn dog went outside.
The Buffalo Bills are selecting Carlos Basham, the edge rusher from Wake Forest. So this could be the edge rusher run that Rick Spielman was waiting for.
All right.
Carlos Basham to the Buffalo Bills. And now the Packers are on the board, boys. Packers are on the clock.
And we are at pick one.
Maybe they'll trade Rodgers right now. We'll see.
Yeah, that's funny.
Maybe Rodgers announces his retirement right now. Wouldn't that be great? Oh, the Packers are on the clock. I quit.
I don't think he'll show up.
Screw you. I am the new Alex Trebek. Here's my mustache.
Take that, Trebek.
What is this comment?
Miller Lite when the bank account's low, but the self-esteem is lower.
Wow,
Eric, come on, man. Put yourself up. That's okay.
If Miller Lite wants to be a title sponsor of Purple Daily, then you're going to regret that.
Fine Pilsner, by the way. A fine Pilsner. I love me a good Miller Lite.
Beer is like kids. You love everyone differently.
David Rank predicting the Packers would take another quarterback here. Wouldn't that be hilarious? All right, Aaron.
Yes.
We'll take Kyle Trask and have Jordan Love. Now the joke's on you.
Joke's on you.
Man. Okay, is that do you guys feel like this is the demise of the Packers? Or are they going to patch this thing up? Is there any way that Aaron Rodgers is just back in Green Bay and they're going to win 13 games again? I feel like this is the end. I don't think he's bluffing. I think he would quit.
I think this is it.
Well, but is it going to be the demise of the Packers for sure? Until I see a Packers starting quarterback who's not good, it's been 28 years.
Packers
so I'm not going to believe it.
Packers pick is in.
Offensive line.
Offensive guard Josh Myers from Ohio State.
There you go.
It's a name that I think has been mocked to the Vikings quite a bit in these middle rounds. So he's off the board. And I believe he's a guard, right? Yeah, Josh Myers. Or is he a center? I guess he's a center that could
I don't know.
That could convert to guard.
Oh, yeah, and because they actually lost Lindsley to the Chargers, right?
Yep.
And another, is it Boogie Basham? Boogie Basham to the Bills? I'm seeing this one coming in. I don't know who Boogie Basham is.
Carlos
Basham
Jr. from Wake Forest is a.
Got it.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
61.
So, yeah. Boogie is his nickname. Boogie
great
Basham.
Name.
Yeah.
Great football name. Boogie Basham. Love that.
I think
Absolutely
Boogie is across the board a great nickname.
Yeah, Boogie Cousins.
Like, I don't think that you can screw it up by that being your nickname.
Yeah.
There's nothing in life that, I mean, Boogie's just a good name.
All right, question for you guys here too.
Chiefs now. Yep.
What we're 4 picks away, or less than that even.
I think the rest of the show should just be Declan.
I don't have any feed up because my Wi-Fi is so crap right now. So like I only have TweetDeck. I don't have a draft tracker. I don't have video. I don't have anything. I don't have anything. So I'm just guessing. I am just guessing.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Declan. I don't know. I don't know where we're at. I don't know.
Oh, executive decisions, executive producer.
Executive producer.
We found these cookies under your bed, Cookie Monster. Well, I don't know where those came from.
you guys, man. Screw you guys. You guys. I'd love to finish it.
Well, Alice brought them in earlier.
Yeah, go Huskies. As Patrick says, SESU, Dex. Go Huskies. I love it.
D is for draft.
I absolutely love
draft.
it. Go Huskies.
Draft starts with D.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. Yes, we are at pick 63 in the Vikings.
So, if Kellen Mond is there, is this a no-brainer?
No, I don't think it is. I think this defensive end run is going to be where the Vikings go.
Okay.
Yeah, no quarterbacks. So 2 picks left in the second round. No quarterbacks have gone in the second round so far. Okay, if it were me, I'm taking the best non-quarterback of need at 66. And then I've got my eye on the rest of the teams that may be looking for quarterbacks between 66 and 78. And then I'm leveraging my, remaining 3 third-round picks and 3 fourth-round picks to maybe trade up. But I think the value right now, and some of this is nebulous because like when you get into the third round, really like there's a lot of red flags and whatnot. You're really just drafting for upside and potential. But according to the ESPN.com big board, there's so many non-quarterbacks up here. Like there are 9 non-quarterbacks ahead of Davis Mills in terms of valuable players, and 2 of them are edge rushers. You got Quinn Miners, the offensive guard from Wisconsin Whitewater. But then you've got Davis Mills, Kyle Trask, and Kellen Mond in succession. So I would look to draft a non-quarterback at 66 and then maybe trade up from 78 to draft one of those quarterbacks. That's my prediction, by the way. It's not a write that down prediction, but for tonight, I think they go non-quarterback at 66 and then trade up from 78 to get one of those 3 guys. Boom.
I like it. Here's what I think. 66, they take a defensive end. Pass rushing end, okay? 78, I think they use the pick. But either the first or second or both. But I'm going to guess pick 86 is traded and they accumulate 6th and 7th round selections. Day 3. I'll just say day 3 because he could be 5th round as well. But I think they'll use one of the 4 picks because Rick is Rick. And I don't think Rick really changed a lot. I think Rick's going to use at least one of these third-round picks to move back. And I can almost guarantee you, as much as it bugs us, it bothers him to have 1 pick in the last 2 rounds.
Which is so stupid.
You have
7 picks in the next 2 rounds. Just go draft a bunch of good players.
Yeah,
in fact, you don't even need that 6th-round pick. You should be leveraging the 6th-round pick to move up somewhere in here. You don't need it'd be one thing, like I said, if you had 5 picks going in the draft. Okay, try and multiply your assets and trade back, right? Be aggressive here. Okay, the Chiefs have made their selection.
Yep.
Oklahoma center Creed Humphrey to the Chiefs.
Oh, I like him.
He's 63.
I
like him.
Going all in on protecting Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and you know what? Because they learned their lesson.
Yep.
So the Buccaneers are now on the clock with the last pick in the second round, and that means, Declan, the Vikings are how many picks away?
I didn't hear. What did you say? I didn't hear it.
They're 3 picks away. Well,
they're
2
3 picks away,
and then they're the 3rd pick.
Okay.
As we go here.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right.
You know what? The Chiefs learned a valuable lesson. Even Patrick Mahomes Jr. needs protection. Or Patrick Mahomes.
They went all in, man. Good for them. As Big Daddy Bruce says, don't answer the phone. I think that's more of a Mike Zimmer.
That's Zimmer.
That's Mike Zimmer right there as well.
Wow. Oh, wow. Is this right? Oh, wow.
What do we got?
The Buccaneers, according to NFL Draft Diamonds, who's been nailing all these picks, have selected quarterback Florida, Kyle Trask.
Okay. That makes
Kyle
sense.
Trask to the Buccaneers. Hey, you got a 45-year-old quarterback.
Yeah. Who's probably ticked off. Why'd you draft a quarterback? Yeah, that makes
it'll
perfect
serve
sense.
two purposes. It'll help give you depth at quarterback when you have a 45-year-old at the position, and it'll piss off the 45-year-old to try and keep that guy as a backup and win another Super Bowl, right?
Absolutely.
So there it is. All right. Wow. Kyle Trask to the Buccaneers. So cross one, and that, to me, that changes things big time for the Vikings here.
Because there might be a run.
I didn't think that run was going to start there. But now that it has, if you want a quarterback, these guys might go quick now. I think they're all sort of stacked together and interchangeable on draft boards. So if you want Davis Mills or Kellen Mond, I don't know that you can afford to wait until 78 now that the seal has been broken, so to speak, on the quarterbacks here. What do you guys think? Would this make you more likely to take a quarterback in 2 picks from now? If you were going to do it, this is kind of the time to do it, right?
But I don't think the Vikings will. I think the Vikings are very much so. Here's the thing too about here's the thing about Mills though that's going to scare them. He is a project. Like he has played. I don't think he got to 15 college starts at Stanford. Okay, so he's not a guy. He is probably not a guy that can come in and be a backup for you in 2021. He would be a project guy. He would probably make your roster. You wouldn't cut him and try and practice squad him. But I don't think that you could play him and therefore have him as your backup. So I think that if he goes in the 3rd round, you're doing that for the future. And everything that we have seen so far about this team screams we are all in for next year. So that's why I think Trask you could have probably had as a backup and Kellen Mond perhaps. But here's the problem with Mond. The way he plays is probably runs so different from the way that your offense operates that you might not be comfortable there. That doesn't mean he wouldn't be a good pick, and it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be doing things differently, but football teams don't look at life like that.
The top players on Arif Hassan's big board as he tweets as we head to the 3rd round, the top 3 players here, I'll just go off these guys. Joseph Asai from Texas, an edge rusher, is available. Wyatt Davis from Ohio State, a guard, is available. Jalen Mayfield from Michigan, another offensive tackle, he is available. So edge, offensive guard, offensive tackle, and then after that it would go cornerback, linebacker, cornerback. So I think this edge rusher, I think Joseph Asai, honestly, that would probably be the safer one to do. But the quarterback one is interesting. Makes things interesting now with Trask off the board.
Also official now that this is the first time since 2014 the Vikings did not select in the 2nd round. So if those of you in Write That Down had the Vikings with a 2nd round pick, you are wrong. Point off the board.
Good luck doing the accountability session, by the way, for all of us. Like I hats off to you for that, because that's does not sound fun.
It's going to take a while this week.
How surprised are you guys that they didn't get back in? I really thought that Rick would be so bothered by this that he would get a pick if it was towards the end. But I really thought that he would get a 2nd round pick, and I'm genuinely surprised that he didn't.
Yeah, I am surprised too. I don't know what their board looks like. Maybe they just love the depth in the 3rd round, and they just feel like, let's just stand pat. Let's not give up one of these picks. What do you got, Dex?
Jaguars have taken defensive back Andre Sisco, so that would mean the Minnesota Vikings would be on the clock.
Vikings on the clock. Strap in. Pour a drink.
Okay, hold on.
This is their 2nd pick in the 2021 draft. All right, boys. So here's what's available right now for the Vikings with the 66th overall pick. Their biggest positions of need as we see it are offensive guard, edge rusher, backup quarterback, secondary depth in that mix, and maybe 3rd wide receiver. Here are the best available players according to ESPN's big board. Ronnie Perkins, defensive end, Oklahoma. That would be logical, right? A defensive end here if they have him high on their board too.
Absolutely.
I'm just going to go through the positions that matter to the Vikings. So the best defensive ends on the board are Ronnie Perkins from Oklahoma, Patrick Jones II, and Rashad Weaver, both from Pittsburgh, and Dalen Hayes from Notre Dame. On the offensive guard board, Quinn Miners from Wisconsin Whitewater. Did Wyatt Davis already go? Wyatt Davis from Ohio State.
I feel like he did. When I read that from Arif too, I thought he did. Maybe he didn't.
The other Ohio State kid went. So make Wyatt Davis on the board. And then Trey Smith from Tennessee is another interesting one here. And then Ben Cleveland from Georgia. So in terms of edge rushers and offensive guards, that's what you're looking at. And also Kellen Mond is on the board. And Davis Mills is on the board. What would
quarterback would be fun.
What would you guys do? Not what would Rick Spielman do. What would you guys do here?
I'd go quarterback here. I'd go quarterback. But
I go Kellen Mond here.
But that's because it's more fun for me. I'm doing it for me.
I draft Kellen Mond here. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
The pick is in.
Oh my God.
The pick is in.
Wow. Wow.
The Vikings just drafted Kellen Mond, quarterback, Texas A&M.
Oh, bravo. Good for you, Rick.
Wow.
Get crazy, folks.
Good for you, Rick.
Let's get crazy.
All right. Strap in, boys. Dex, why don't you let's give Dex a minute to send out some social media plugs because this is the party right here. This is where it's at right now.
Come on, drink
the
up.
Purple Daily YouTube channel. Kellen Mond is the pick for the Vikings at 66. I've only seen that from a couple places. I haven't seen it from any heavy hitters yet. But that is a game changer for a couple reasons. And there it is. Yes, Chad Graff and Courtney Cronin both confirming it. I'm just going to read some tweets here from people that are plugged in and then we can react. And then we can start Vikings Vent Line at some point too. Chad Graff with the 66th pick, the Vikings select quarterback Kellen Mond. They're preparing for life after Kirk Cousins. Chris Thomason, Vikings stand pat with the second pick in the third round and get Kellen Mond, quarterback, Texas A&M. He's in line to be the backup in 2021 and could be groomed to replace Kirk Cousins at some point. So here's what we know, okay? Kirk has the third highest cap hit of any quarterback in the league this year and the second highest cap hit of any quarterback in the league next year. Now, his salary is guaranteed for next year. You can get out from underneath the full cap hit by moving him. So you're not on the hook for the $45 million or whatever it is to the cap if you move him. But it's so hard to win a Super Bowl when you're paying a good, not great quarterback that kind of money. He's not very mobile, right? There's all these things that go into it. And so based on history, when you look at quarterbacks who are drafted, and Dex, on-air production meeting, can you push that too for us?
You got it.
So when you look at quarterbacks drafted third round, fourth round, in those middle rounds, there's only like a 18 to 20% chance historically that those guys pan out to be viable starting quarterbacks. So the odds are against Kellen Mond being a viable starting quarterback, but these are the chances you have. You can't just not take chances at this position, right? You can't just live in fear of Christian Ponder repeating himself year after year. You got to step in the ring, and you have to take some shots at the most important position in all of sports. And so I commend the Vikings for making this selection. Kellen Mond is going to be able to sit behind Cousins for the entire year if Cousins stays healthy, and he's going to be able to soak in life in the NFL and work on various things, mechanics, reading defenses, studying the playbook, etc. So I say whether this works out or not, bravo to Rick Spielman and the Minnesota Vikings for making a really tough decision here and taking a guy that's going to push Kirk Cousins potentially starting in 2022. So, Judd, your quick thoughts on Kellen Mond being the guy at 66.
Well, I think the difference or separator between Davis Mills and Kellen Mond is simple. Mills started 11 games over 2 seasons, which is nothing. Mond started for 4 years in college, set the A&M record for career passing yards, and threw for 19 touchdowns with just 3 picks. He's 6'3", 211 pounds, so he has good size. Yeah, this is the type of pick that I wanted the Vikings to make because, 1, it's fun, and 2, it's high time that they have some type of plan to replace Kirk because I think the second that they went to Kirk in March or so and said, how about we redo your contract again? And Kirk said, I'm good now. I like my contract. that they probably said, and rightfully so, okay, that's cool, but after 2022, you're going to be gone. This doesn't mean that Kellen Mond is going to be the starter in 2024, but what it does mean is for the first time, they really do have a legitimate plan here, and it's not, well, we've got this backup guy that we can throw in, and he's a veteran, all due respect to Declan Goff. It's not, we've got Drew Lock, and he, you know what, he can play. Now the question becomes, do you have the right people to develop this kid? What's your style, and what's the style of his play going to be? But this is an exciting move for a franchise that, for the most part, has not made moves like this. I feel, Phil, like it's ordinarily been the, okay, 5th or 6th round, let's take John David Booty. And you're always like, okay, he's not going to start. Like, it's never going to result. This feels like it has the chance to become something, which is really, with the Spielman-led Vikings, it's not a common occurrence. And best case too, 2021, Kirk feels some pressure. Like, let's say the kid plays well, comes and plays well in training camp, right? He's not going to replace Kirk, but from the day that Kirk got here, Kirk has never felt any legitimate threat. It's been Mannion, and we like Jake Browning. Jake Browning's not going to start here. I love the fact that this sort of does flip the quarterback situation a little bit to give it a different feel and to give you something that you think could be the starting point.
Boys, we all wanted some action tonight. I'm graduating to something a little bit more edgy here.
What do you got?
Cheers to the Vikings making things interesting. A little bourbon here. For old.
That's a smooth pour. Phil Mackey here.
Right there.
When you're enjoying the draft.
Phil Mackey here for 2-finger pours. When the Vikings draft a quarterback of the future, it's cause for 2-finger pour celebration on Purple Daily. Yeah.
When it's time to relax.
All right, Sam Munson, our friend from Pro Football Focus, he tweets, Kellen Mond to Minnesota is really interesting.
Yep.
Mond has the tool set to become an NFL starter. He's got everything you need except a bit more aggression down the field. I think you can find that from him, particularly if he doesn't need to start early, which he doesn't. You can just let him chill and learn some things sitting in the background. So, boy, I love this. I think this is a great pick. And you know what? There's a much better chance that he doesn't become an NFL starter just based on where he's picked and all of the history of where quarterbacks are picked. Like, guys in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round, just like I said earlier, they just don't become NFL starters very often. But there's like a 1 in 4, 1 in 5 chance, and if you hit on it, the dude's going to make less than $1 million to the salary cap, I believe, starting in 2021. And so this is great. And you know what? Also, Kirk Cousins, forget about like whether you like him or not, or whether you think he's good or great, or the 8th best quarterback or the 15th best quarterback. He's emerging into his mid-30s, okay? And I know that Tom Brady is in his 40s, and Drew Brees did it into his late 30s and whatnot, but Kirk's not on that level, okay? Once a guy gets into his mid-30s, you got to start thinking about life after Kirk. And so this is that. This is the Vikings thinking about their next potential starting quarterback, and it's got to be so nice to think about the fact that at least you have something to look forward to at the backup quarterback position, right? Like, I hate to go down this path because I think the Vikings are going to be good in 2021, but how demoralizing was it when the Vikings were 1 in 5 and Kirk is throwing interceptions to the Falcons defense, right? And the backup quarterback to replace him is Sean Mannion, right? So you don't even get the excitement of, let's see what the young guy behind Kirk has, right? Because there is no young guy behind Kirk until right now. I love the pick. I think it's the exact type of thing they should be doing in that position. And the good news is they still have 3 more picks in the 3rd round to help this year's team. So Kellen Mond doesn't help this year's team, probably not anyways, but they've got 3 more picks here in the next 20 or so that can help this year's team. So, yeah, we see all your people are raving about this for the most part in the YouTube comment section. If you're just joining us, this is Purple Daily. Mackey, Judd, Declan, our executive producer. It's presented by TCL. Enjoy more of what you love with TCL. And we'd appreciate if you could help give a boost to the show by clicking the like button on the YouTube video and clicking the subscribe button so that we, in turn, can give you daily Vikings entertainment and discussions just like this. So,
and Kirk, a 4th-round pick in 2012, the 102nd pick in that draft. So you can find guys here. I really like the fact that they are finally addressing this. I really like the fact that they're getting a guy that is going to have to be taken seriously, because I'm sorry, all due respect to Nate Stanley and Jake Browning, they were practice squad guys. I am also very curious to see, and it's going to be more behind the scenes, how this sits with Kirk. I think it's a great move, and I think it's totally fair. So I think Kirk should be fine. But quarterbacks, as we've seen, quarterbacks can get bristly about their replacement being on the roster. My reaction to that is it's too damn bad. So sorry. But here's the thing to keep in mind, where I think this is totally fair, and I think it's a great move. Where it's completely fair is, I'm telling you, I'm pretty convinced that when they went to Kirk and said, Kirk, we're up against the cap again. I know that we restructured and changed your contract a year ago, but we'd like to do that again. And it sounds very clearly like Kirk said, no, I did it last year. I'm not going to continue to restructure. That the Vikings probably, if not to Kirk, internally said, okay, that's cool, but we're going to have to find your replacement because we're not going to continue now to do this dance. And Phil, to get to your point, can you imagine? I mean, let's just play this out best case, and let's say this pick works. Can you imagine the freedom that you now have? I mean, your whole salary cap thing is largely tied up in Kirk's contract. That's really your problem, if we want to call it a problem. So now if you've got a guy who's going to potentially be under your control for 4 years, and let's say 2 is starter where he's dirt cheap, that's a pretty good, that's a nice predicament to be in. So this is just a very, very smart move by guys who ironically might not be here when Mond is playing, but that's not the point. The franchise is being smart.
Apparently, Mel, is it true that Mel Kiper is sort of savaging this pick on ESPN right now? I saw a couple people. I saw our guy Drew McGarry was tweeting that Mel Kiper doesn't love the pick. I got a couple pieces of information for you guys to help add some context to this pick.
Yep.
I do have the NFL.com scouting profile on Kellen Mond, so we can go over the strengths and weaknesses, which are interesting. But I want to read to you Chris Sims' SI.com article from about a month and a half ago. Chris Sims' quarterback rankings for the 2021 draft. All right? And I don't know who's touting him this, but SI.com's Fan Nation is saying Chris Sims probably the best quarterback scout in media today. Now, I haven't followed his track record, so I don't know. Maybe he has a track record of huge whiffs on these things. But here, he ranked the top quarterbacks going into the draft and gave little blurbs on them. And I'm going to give you those rankings right now.
Okay.
Number 1, Zach Wilson. So he had Zach Wilson as the number 1 quarterback on his board. Is that my phone doing that? Is there Declan's? Oh, I hear buzzing. Maybe it's my phone.
No, I hear it too.
Okay.
Might be mine.
I'm
only doing 1,000 things at a time. It's fine. Just keep going.
You're just the executive
producer.
Aaron,
it's
fine.
Aaron,
a major
so
daily
sorry.
Vikings entertainment platform.
It's fine.
Aaron,
I just uploaded 4 profiles and put up push notifications. I have an email chain ready to go. No, it's fine.
Don't worry about it.
I'm typing something up.
Yeah. But my mic's not on. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence, number 2 on his board. Mac Jones, number 3 on his board. Kellen Mond, number 4 on Chris Sims' pre-draft quarterback board.
Nice.
Ahead of both Justin Fields and Trey Lance. I'm going to say that again. Chris Sims had Kellen Mond ahead of Justin Fields and Trey Lance. Here's what he writes, okay? Why is nobody talking about this guy? He lost 1 game in the SEC through 19 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. That merits more talk and hype. But forget that. His throwing is special. Wilson is the king of the throwing, meaning Zach Wilson. Mac Jones is extremely consistent. Kellen Mond is the next guy. As pure throwers, guys who can throw perfect strikes every time, Wilson, Jones, and Mond are more machines than Trevor Lawrence is at this point. Mond has a really quick release, keeps the ball uptight. I wish he would relax and loosen up, but that's the way they're taught in college at times. Every throw he makes is a bullseye. It's a rocket arm. He doesn't need space in the pocket. He can throw with pressure. The only negative is I wish he'd play a little more backyard football. He's a really good athlete, but I think he's trying to do the right thing in the Jimbo Fisher system and go through the reads, and he's a great decision maker. He can go 1, 2, 3 seamlessly, and he makes very little mistakes. When people aren't open, he doesn't compound those mistakes. I'm not going to lie. I'm not blown away by Jimbo Fisher's offense. It's a little predictable. Defenses are all over their concepts, and he still throws strikes in there. That is a raving review of Kellen Mond from Chris Sims.
And here comes the run on quarterbacks because the Houston Texans just took Davis Mills with their next pick. So the quarterback run has begun.
What does Kuiper?
It is.
What does Kuiper not like? Do we know?
Let's check. Maybe people, if you guys in the comment section, we don't have the volume up on Kuiper.
Yeah.
Is Kuiper ripping it? And what is the quick summary of what he's saying?
I did see someone say that Kubiak was involved with A&M's staff at one point, or at least was involved there. That he has an understanding of Kellen Mond. So obviously there's something there as well. But in general, I mean, I don't think you can fault the Vikings for doing this. If they traded up for Kellen Mond in the second round, and I know we kind of ripped them before for not going in the second round. All right, let's have that discussion. You wasted a couple capital to move up to get a guy. But he basically fell to you right here. You have to thinking about life after Kirk Cousins. I think this is a good, solid pick. And you still got 3 more picks in this round. Bravo, honestly. Bravo, round of applause.
So we've sort of touched on this a little bit, but I'll throw it to Declan first here. What do you think this draft pick means for the Vikings' opinion of Kirk Cousins?
I think it means that, number one, they still believe in Kirk. This is not an indication that look, hey, Kirk, your job just got hotter. There's more pressure on you. I think they're looking at it as, hey, man, this was a player on our big board that we were targeting and we're looking at, and we have to always be looking at life after you. We're always that's what football is. It's always looking at the next decision, and it's not like we mortgage future picks to make this call. I think the Vikings did the absolute right decision here taking a quarterback because you have to be able to think about this. And look, we've talked about before, if your backup quarterback has to come in, odds are your season's over, right? Probably your season's over. At the same time, I'll come out and say the devil's advocate part. We thought that when Sam Bradford went down, Case Keenum comes in and he takes them to 13-3. I know that's a 1 out of 10 Cinderella needle in a haystack situation. At the same time, I feel a hell of a lot better turning the keys over to Kellen Mond in the event that Kirk Cousins can't go on a short week or he gets hurt eventually. And I want to see what this kid can do. And also, it's going to set them up for a good situation because he is going to sit. The best case scenario is the Vikings still go 11-6 with that. The new game schedule with the math just absolutely throws me off.
No, you got it. You got
11-6, right? But best case scenario is Kellen Mond doesn't see the field at all this year. At the same time, you have a contingency plan. This is a smart move for the Vikings. Bravo.
I like the pick because this also gives you. So again, this goes back to why I wanted them to draft a quarterback because they don't need one right now. And what I didn't want it is to get to the point where Kirk was done here, and then you're like, we got to draft a quarterback.
Yeah.
But the other thing that I like too is, and look, again, it hasn't happened. It's high time that there's somebody behind Kirk who can actually play the position,
dude. Give you hope as a fan too, for God's sakes.
I don't mean this is going to come off as more Kirk bashing, and I don't mean it that way. But this is professional athletics, and I like competition. And you know what I really don't like, unless you're Mike bleeping Trout, I don't like comfort. I don't think comfort's a good thing. I think comfort allows you to go home and get your steak out with no it's like weird meat, and put your rocks in your bin and go to bed on your sleep number bed and be like, I'm going to get up tomorrow and be the quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings.
I would pound some Pizza Ranch right now if it was in front of me. I'm not going to lie. Would pound it.
But don't you like the fact that this is actually going to, and I'm not saying to Dex's point immediately, don't you like the fact that this is going to apply some pressure there, that there's somebody else who really can play? I'm so tired. I was so sick and tired of Sean Mannion's holding a clipboard and we got these guys we're developing. And I was like, no, you're not developing them. I mean, they're project guys, but they're not being developed to play. This is a legitimate quarterback who might be the starting quarterback either in 2022 or 2023, and that puts pressure on Kirk that I absolutely welcome.
Yep. Do you guys want? I'll give my 2 cents, and then Tom Pelissero, our old colleague and our good friend, based in Minnesota, he has a bunch of NFL executives and scouts speaking on the condition of anonymity about Kellen Mond. So we'll get to that in just a second here, but I think this draft pick means the Vikings know it's really, really hard to continue on with Kirk Cousins paid at this level, and they made they made their bed with that contract. But you can't continue to pay a good, not great quarterback third and second most money to the salary cap and expect to win a Super Bowl. And so this is their way of getting some leverage back. It's their way of sort of taking the control back a little bit and saying, all right, well, you can either renegotiate. But honestly, I think this draft pick means the ship has sailed on Kirk Cousins being the Vikings quarterback for the long haul. This draft pick to me means either 2021 or maybe 2022, depending on what happens this year, are his last 2 years as Vikings quarterback. And that's it. So for the first time, they've really put an expiration date on Kirk Cousins as the starting quarterback. They like him. They don't love him. I think they tried to get him to restructure to free up money for free agents like Joe Thuney. I think he said no. And I think that chain reaction led to them saying, all right, well, if you're not going to play ball with us contractually, then we're going to find your replacement so that we can get a guy in here who makes less money. And I'll tell you, people rip the Christian Ponder pick all the time, rightfully so. He was garbage, one of the worst draft picks in Vikings history. But the idea of getting a guy in here, whether it's the first round or the third round in this case, on a rookie scale contract for 5 years, who makes no money, and you can build a monster roster around that player, if that young quarterback pans out, that is the holy grail. That's how you win a Super Bowl.
Yes.
Look at the last 20 years of Super Bowl winners. There's a lot of Tom Brady in there, yes. But when it's not Tom Brady, it's a lot of rookie-scale, cheaper quarterbacks who are really talented, and the team built a monster roster around them. Kellen Mond certainly isn't a sure thing to pan out, but he gives you hope that that formula can take place. This is officially the most people we've ever had watching Purple Daily at any time. So thank you guys for hanging out with us.
We beat last
right
night's
now.
record?
We have, yes.
Nice. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we
that.
we had a record night last night on Purple Daily, and thanks to you guys and the community that you have helped us build here. Daily Vikings Entertainment. If you're new, I'm Phil Mackey. That's Judd Zulgad. We got Declan Goff, a wizard executive producer who has great hair and likes to pound seltzers.
He melted down once already tonight. Like he got really prickly, and then he's
Ready?
And you can help us out by clicking the like button on the YouTube video and clicking the subscribe button if you want Daily Vikings Entertainment 365 days a year in your feed. Boys, would you like to hear what anonymous NFL executives and scouts are saying about Kellen Mond? And by the way, stop me if the Vikings are on the clock at 78, because I think that's going to happen soon too. Okay. They do have 3 more picks, and I'm just all in on Kellen Mond still right now. It looks like the Giants are still picking at 71, so we're still a few picks away. But this is from NFL.com's Tom Pelissero, and he just has all kinds of thoughts from league executives on Kellen Mond. Let's see here. Scouts and coaches struggle to get over how stiff Mond looks on tape and in person. If you watch him, he is kind of like he's got the ball up here and he's very rigid. But you know what? What better quarterback to learn from when it comes to being loosey-goosey than Kirk Cousins, right? Come on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Kirk is Mr. Improvising.
Mr. Improv, right? All right.
Yep.
So coaches and scouts are a little bit nervous about how rigid he looks, which is a common thread with Jimbo Fisher-trained quarterbacks, such as Jameis Winston and Christian Ponder, also a Jimbo Fisher guy.
That's right. Yep. As
an AFC executive put it on Mond, quote, even though he's fast and he has a good arm, he's like a gall darn robot. One coordinator compared Mond to another one-time Fisher quarterback, E.J. Manuel. He's got that Jimbo Fisher thing about him. An AFC quarterbacks coach said of Mond, Jimbo teaches the very stiff elbows in the drop. He kind of looks robotic. He really shouldn't be a robotic type of a guy. So they're gonna have to get that out of Kellen Mond. NFC quarterbacks coach said, the thing I get stuck on with him was there wasn't anything I could say was outstanding about him physically. It's not an elite arm strength. It's not consistent down the field accuracy. I thought he was going to be more athletic than he was on tape. He's a little stiff.
Okay.
Another anonymous scout said Jimbo asks a lot of quarterbacks to operate in that system. He's been able to do it, even though he looks like a wideout. I don't know if he's necessarily the big vocal leader presence. We were walking around the Senior Bowl, and he had his headphones on, staying in his own world. But on the field, I think the guy's got some moxie about him, and he knows the game. So, these are all reasons why he would just
I'm sorry.
Sit and soak it up.
I'm sorry, what? I was in my own world with my headphones on.
God.
Okay, let's backtrack right now. Let's slow down. Let's all calm down, okay? Because, some people are going to be in love with this, and some people are going to say, 3rd round pick, come on. All right, I'm going to show you a guy right now. I'm going to bring him up on those of you who are watching Purple Daily. I'm going to show you this again. I showed you this last night. It's Christian Ponder, okay? What was the problem with this guy? The problem with this guy was not that he was too smart, and it's not that he washed his hair in the parking lot of a CVS. The problem with this guy was
jealous, by the way. I'm so jealous.
Problem with this guy is that he was a 1st round pick, okay? And there's not a lot of leeway there. If you swing and miss on a 1st round pick, especially a QB who is probably more of a 2nd or 3rd round guy, you look like a fool, all right? Kellen Mond's a 3rd round pick. Nobody is guaranteeing tonight that he is going to replace Kirk for sure. Nobody is saying he's going to be great. Nobody's even saying he's going to be good. But because he's a 3rd round pick, and because Rick loves to obtain draft picks, so he's got a lot. He has 11 total and 10 in the next 2 days, and Mond is the first of those 10. What this gives you is the starting point of the opportunity that he could be the guy. And that's what quarterbacks after the 1st round are. They are lottery tickets. And sometimes they are Russell Wilson and, oh my God, you won, and you now live in a mansion, and you used to live in a trailer park, okay? That's not the norm. That's not the norm, and I get that. But the problem with this pick is we're going to dissect it like, oh, he's for sure the guy. And then if he's not, we're going to say, Rick screwed this up. The Ponder pick bugged me because it was a forced pick and because you had to get a quarterback, and Rick was just like, I'll take that one. Rick went to the store and bought bananas that were absolutely overripe because he was just desperate to have bananas. This is a situation where it's a good gamble. And that's what this is, Phil. But it's it's a good gamble. Why? Because you don't need this kid to start. And 2, you can develop him. And worst case, he doesn't work. But it is the most important position in sports. And there is the last time I checked, and I'll defend Rick here on this one. Last time I checked, there's no formula for making sure that you get this right. Like this is, dare I say, marriage. It's a wild card. A lot of marriages end in divorce. So I like the fact that this is a good chance taken. And worst case, it blows up. It does not succeed. But you need, back to your point, Phil, from before, and you're exactly right. You need to take these chances. Doesn't mean it's going to work.
Judd, do you think there was a conversation between Rick Spielman, not including Mike Zimmer, Rick Spielman with Mark and Ziggy Wilf at some point, that said, guys, listen, so before the draft, we may make a play for a quarterback here. Justin Fields we love, Trey Lance we love. We're going to see if one of these guys falls. No matter what, we're going to take a quarterback. We love Kellen Mond, all right? I need your blessing that I can stick around for life after Kirk Cousins. I have a vision for life after Kirk Cousins. It doesn't mean that the Cousins era was a failure. It doesn't mean that the Cousins era was a bad signing. But I need your blessing, Wilves. That's the plural for Wilf, right? Wilves.
Pack of Wolves. I'm not quite sure.
Right?
I'm not.
I will not answer this question.
I need your blessing that there is life after Kirk Cousins for me, Rick Spielman. Do you think that conversation took place?
I think a conversation took place. I don't think he got guarantees, and I don't think he probably said, I need a guarantee. I think he probably, in a very business-like approach, said, we need a plan here. And I do think, so if this played out like we think it did, I think that we're both right. I think they went to Kirk and said, we need to restructure. We need to try and get Thuney. We need to try and get defensive end help. And Kirk's like, no, peace out. I'm good.
Koivu.
And they said,
Preezy.
no, we need Granlund and we need Preezy. And they said, okay, we need to transition. And that's when I think that Rick would have gone to Mark and Ziggy and said, I'm going to at least draft a quarterback. And but this is going to be clear, this now starts a very interesting, tonight launches a new cycle in the life of the Vikings and their fan base. And that is the cycle of trying to find, and it might not be Mond. I mean, let's make that very clear. It might not be him, but tonight is step one. Nobody else after Kirk has been step one in life after Kirk. Yeah. This is the first step towards saying we need a plan. And now the question becomes, if Mond gets the chance to start, is Zim his coach? Or sort of to your point of going to the Wilfs without Mike there, is there almost this plan of let's start to transition away from what Mike loves? It's also becoming crystal clear, and I did not think that this was the case. It's becoming very clear tonight that, and I saw this in the comments earlier, that free agency was Mike's turn. This is Rick's turn. This is offense.
Rick's time. This
is Rick's time to shine. But I am shocked that they don't have a defensive end yet. And that to me says one thing. They said, Mike, free agency is yours. The draft is ours offensively.
Boys, I just want to say that as we're sitting here, this is a peak moment for Purple Daily, the most people we've ever had watching Purple Daily at one time during a live stream. The Vikings just drafted Kellen Mond, and Alec Kirilloff just went yard for the second time tonight.
It's happening.
He almost has three.
It's happening.
He almost has three.
Yeah, I know.
First at bat flew out to the fence, basically.
Wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Wasn't ready.
Bring it home.
Wasn't ready.
Bring it home.
Okay, there's one problem.
Bring it home.
His bat flip post home run,
Needs some work.
It's not ready. I would send him back to the Saints.
Yeah,
I'm going to send him to St. Paul. Like the bat flip's not right. Wait, hold on a second here. I got a bat right here. So
Careful.
He's got the.
Don't break your computer. There's still 3 more picks.
Yeah.
And then the bat flip was. I mean, he didn't really have the Tatis flip down yet.
No, he did not. No. The Vikings, by the way,
boys,
are 3 picks away with 78. I mean, let's be honest. They're going to draft an edge rusher, an offensive guard, some secondary depth, a long snapper. It's all going to come in the next few picks here, but they drafted Kellen bleeping Mond with the 66th overall pick. And I just think it makes me happy because for 2 reasons. You can now, with full peace of mind, you can enter this season as a Vikings fan with full faith, all right, they're doing everything they can do to win in 2021. They went all in on defense and free agency. Kirk had a great second half of the season. They fixed left tackle on paper with Christian Darrisaw, and with their next 3 picks in the 3rd round, they're going to get players that can presumably compete to help you in 2021. And so you can sleep at night as a Viking fan knowing they're doing all these things for 2021. And if things don't go great, they have something to give you faith and hope in Kellen Mond for 2022. It's great. That was the hardest part about 1-5 last year when Kirk Cousins threw that pick to start the game against Atlanta. And it was like, oh my God, dude, right?
Here we go.
And there was no future hope. It was just, wow, what are they going to do? And and to their credit, they made a run and they almost made the playoffs. But this is a great scenario because you can root for them to win as many games. You can root for them to win a Super Bowl in 2021. But if they don't get off to a great start or if things go south, you now have the future to root for in Kellen Mond. And that's fun. That's fun as a fan. It's fun to know that there's a guy in waiting. Whether he pans out or not, it's hope, right? It's hope.
Absolutely. Can I throw in some? In fact, can I get the reckless speculation sounder?
Asking you shall receive. Yeah.
Sure, for sure.
Thank you.
Reckless speculation.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the potential scenario of Kellen Mond comes in next season and looks like he might be ready to start in 2022. In which case, you say to yourself, do we really need Kirk Cousins? Over the Cap. Love this site. Overthecap.com.
Wow,
Oh
dude.
my God.
Wow,
Oh my
dude.
God.
Wow.
After
Wow.
next season.
Wow.
Pre-June. So pre-June 1st, okay? Kirk Cousins, if he's traded, dead money on the Vikings cap, $10 million. You can live with that. Cap savings, $35 million.
Oh.
So what I'm saying is going into the last year, Declan, oh my God, he OD'd. No, Declan. No, Declan. Don't do that, Declan. No.
I got nothing in this wallet right now. You said $30 million in cap savings. I got nothing going on in here.
Oh, you've got nothing going on anywhere.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just throw that out in a quarterback-starved league for perhaps Cousins' next team. You know, if you could trade Kirk and a team really likes Kirk, a team's like, Kirk, we will trade for you and extend you. The Vikings would incur salary cap savings pre-June 1st of $35 million if you are at a position to make the transition after 2021 to Kellen Mond.
So that's probably the case, right? Okay, right now, poll the room here.
Yep.
Now that they drafted Kellen Mond, percentage chance Kirk Cousins is still on the Vikings roster for the start of the 2022 season?
25%. I think 75% chance he is gone. I'll say it's a 1 out of 4 is still it isn't. It's still high. It's still pretty high.
Oh, you think that's high? Judd thinks that's high.
Yeah, I would even say I think it's still 1 in 4. I think it's 1 in 4. What do you think, Judd?
I agree. It's high. By the way,
I think that taking away the excitement of the moment and not knowing a thing about how this kid is going to transition.
We have just crowned Kellen Mond the next Russell Wilson, by the way.
And again, I'm not being Mr. Negative because I like what they're doing. I love this gamble. But I think the Vikings might be good in 2021. I think Zim, if they're good, is not going to be fired. I don't know that Zim is going to want to transition to Mond unless you tell him we will spend all of our savings on defense. I think it's about a 65% chance that Kirk is back because I think we are banking on Kellen Mond basically coming in and at some point in time in practice starting to tear things up. I don't know about that, but at least it does create the potential. Like that potential this morning was not there.
Two things. One, Bob M puts on the screen, amazing how many guys here love Mond and have never seen him play. Cheers to everyone who has never seen Kellen Mond play
and cheers to
is
Bob.
Already crowning him as a Super Bowl champion, leading the Vikings to their first title in the history of the franchise. And thing number two, by the way, the Vikings are on the clock at pick 78 right now. Okay. So now it's time to dial in. Yep. We just spent the last 20, 30 minutes dissecting the future with Kellen Mond. But ultimately, pick 78, boys, and I think pick 86 and pick 90 are about this year's team and making this year's team as good as it can be. So let's reset. Let's go to the ESPN Best Players Available board right now. And if I'm not mistaken, Ronnie Perkins, the defensive end from Oklahoma, is still on the board as the best player available.
Okay.
There are some other edge rushers like Patrick Jones II from Pittsburgh still on the board here. And there's a bunch of wide receivers, including, all right, I'm going to throw this out there. This is not the most immediate need, but the Vikings do need a third wide receiver. Anthony Schwartz from Auburn is on the board. Anthony Schwartz ran the fastest 40-yard dash of any player in this year's draft. All right? And unlike Troy Williamson, you wouldn't be asking him to come in as like your number one Randy Moss replacement savior. All you would need Anthony Schwartz to do is run down the sideline or up the middle 10 times a game as fast as he can, right? And drop a ball into his hands for a touchdown or a pass interference, okay? And so that's the type of guy that could stretch the field, that could give the Vikings a one-on-one matchup as a third wide receiver. Really interesting. I would put Anthony Schwartz in the mix to be drafted here with pick 78 or 86. I think they're going meat and potatoes. I think they're going guard. And actually, we have a pick.
Yep, here we go.
The pick is in.
Yep.
NFL Draft Diamonds keeps breaking these early here. With the 78th overall pick, the Vikings select North Carolina linebacker Chaz Surratt. Chaz Surratt, all right? So he right now is the 4th best player on the board according to ESPN. Here's the pre-draft analysis. Surratt is undersized with excellent instincts and sideline-to-sideline range. He moved from quarterback to linebacker in 2019, and his tackling improved significantly in 2020. He breaks on the ball well, has above-average upside when it comes to matching up in man-to-man coverage, and flashes as a pass rusher. So obviously the Vikings already have their 2 top linebackers in Barr and Kendricks, but Barr is gone after this year almost certainly, and so they will have some need at that position. So this is a project. It's somebody that was apparently a quarterback up until 2019, but he was the 4th best player on the board according to ESPN here with the Vikings drafting him at 78.
So he was the 4th best player on ESPN's big board?
101 on PFF.
Okay.
Did you say he was a cornerback previously?
Quarterback.
Quarterback.
Which makes it weirder. Yeah.
That's really interesting. So he is basically the potentially long-term proposition to replace Eric
this
Wilson?
was? Here's what this was, okay? I can guarantee you, all right? So first round, Vikings take Christian Darrisaw, and then Kellen Mond off the top rope. Rick Spielman goes completely rogue, right, and says, hey, Mike, why don't you go take a bathroom break, okay? Mike takes a bathroom break, and they draft a quarterback that's not going to help him at all in 2021. And Mike Zimmer comes back, and he's like, Rick, he's pounding on the door. The next pick is mine. I need a project linebacker that I can mold.
No. Here's the thing. Here's the Vikings twist. Chaz Surratt's going to be moved from linebacker back to quarterback to challenge Kellen Mond. This is all offense. The Vikings are doing a rope-a-dope on Zimmer right now.
This is so Spielman did a swanton bomb off the top rope. Lands right on him, but then as the 1 and the 2 comes down, Zimmer comes up with the roll-up at the last second and pins a Jeff Hardy from the swanton bomb just to get my last spot in.
What the Rock is cooking.
But Mike Zimmer is cooking with the linebacker at pick 78. I love it. I mean, I don't think it's if he's at least high up on the Muff big boards, like, it's not a reach, right? I know linebacker isn't a sexy pick. It's not quarterback. It's not wide receiver. It's not even defensive end, with this team has yet even to address that. I think it's most likely a fine pick for the value.
Mm-hmm. And he's probably, long-term, potentially the replacement for Wilson, and then eventually for a guy like Barr. Although I'm not going to believe that Barr is gone until the day he's in a different jersey, because every time I think that Barr is going to the Jets or that he's going to a different team or he's going to be let go, he stays here. But yeah, I'm sure Mike at some point said, are we going to draft some defense for me? Are we going to draft some defense? But you know what? This does come back to, it's very intriguing that I was wrong, completely wrong about this. It's very intriguing that this team.
What was that?
I was completely wrong. I was completely mistaken. This team does not have a pass rushing end addition either via free agency or the draft, and we're now, basically well into the 3rd round. That is interesting to me.
They might also apparently DJ Wanham has been putting up photos on social media of how jacked he is this offseason. They might like some of the work that their internal guys are doing on the other side of the edge.
They might, but they pursued guys pretty heavily when the free agent period opened. So, I mean, there's no question that they were after what they considered a starter. They might now think that guys can't challenge to start. Yeah. I didn't think that'd be the case, but
so Kellen Mond is currently speaking to Minnesota media right now too. Just a couple. That was quick. A couple great work by the Vikings PR department there. So Andrew Kramer, former I will say shout out to Andrew Kramer. Andrew Kramer is one of the founding fathers of what used to be the Purple Podcast, which is now Purple Daily.
So founding father. He's got a big beard.
One of the founding fathers. So Andrew Kramer from the Star Tribune says, new Vikings quarterback Kellen Mond said he met with Clint Kubiak during the draft process. One of his first meetings he had among NFL teams, including at the Senior Bowl, led him expecting Minnesota's area code to pop up. So a great meeting early on in the process, and the Vikings clearly kept it under wraps. Kellen Mond says, quote, I look forward to making more memories in Minnesota. So he'll be hosting a Super Bowl trophy for the first time
All
in
right,
Vikings
so
history, clearly,
this is a video from Bleacher Report. I can't play it, but I'm just seeing the caption and I'm reading it. I would love to play it for context, and maybe I can pop it on the screen here in a little bit. This is from Bleacher Report from RG3, who reacted to the Kellen Mond pick for Kirk Cousins. This is a quote from Robert Griffin III, a former teammate of Kirk Cousins.
Oh, my God.
Who got replaced by Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, so he's bitter.
Quote, Kellen Mond represents exactly what he doesn't do well. Cousins has been collecting checks there in Minnesota for a long time. End quote.
Oh, my God.
RG3 doesn't think Kirk...
But I got 3 words for you. You like that?
Tease, RG3 doesn't think Kirk will be happy with the pick. Eyeball emojis.
Wow.
He won't be. No, but that's going to be true.
So there's okay, hilarious that you brought that up. Okay, so speculation here. Let me scroll down on Twitter here. So Kirk Cousins, when Christian Darrisaw was selected last night, instantly sent a tweet out, "Hey, welcome to the Vikings, congratulations, etc." Right? And so there's been a couple people, including Pro Football Talk, wondering, do you think he's going to send a tweet out? Or, as Pro Football Talk said, or is he going to take some stones from his life expectancy tube and hurl them in the direction of Rick Spielman?
Yeah. He won't like this. I mean, this is what it's no mistake that they have not had a real threat as their backup since he got here. Like, that's not an oversight.
Yeah.
It was on purpose.
Let me see if this plays here. You guys let me know if this goes. Can you guys hear this?
We can see it. We
Can
can't
you hear it?
though. We can't hear it though.
Okay.
He's looking good.
Okay. If you can't hear it, that's unfortunate. But yes.
No, we can't.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All good. Wish we could hear it, but yes, apparently he is on. RG3, his former teammate, is completely
interesting.
He knows where this is heading. Oof.
Wow, what a night so far! My goodness. This has been one of the most just like off-the-wall, exciting Vikings drafts in recent history. They have, I mean, with their first two, think about this, with the first 2 picks, first round, third round, right? They have selected somebody, a blue-chip offensive tackle, left tackle, that can absolutely help take their offense to a new level on paper in the immediate term and maybe help turn them into Super Bowl contenders this year with the job that they've done also fixing the defense in free agency, right? And then with their next pick, they basically said, if things don't go well in 2021, we have also found the next thing for you to have hope in. The next starting quarterback who makes no money and you can build a roster around him, right? I mean, I don't know if you could script a better 1-2 punch with their first 2 picks in this draft in terms of like making you feel good about this year and making you feel good about whatever happens beyond 2021. I am giddy thinking about these first 2 picks. It's amazing. It's so much fun. It's so much fun.
I'm not giddy, but I like the thought process. I really do. And I'll talk out of both sides of my mouth a little bit here because I'll defend Kirk. I'll defend Kirk a little bit. I don't remember the last good quarterback who had his potential replacement drafted and said, "Oh, awesome! I'm glad." This is impressive. You are really drinking that.
Good for you.
So I will defend Kirk here, and it's not odd for guys to be upset when their potential replacement is drafted. That being said, it's incumbent upon the team to do exactly this. Some housekeeping too. Clint Kubiak, just to circle back to Kellen Mond, offensive quality control assistant at Texas A&M in 2010 and 11, and then he became a graduate assistant in 2012 there. And then he had his first stint with the Vikings here as an offensive quality control coach in 13 and 14.
Okay.
So he has, I think the fairest thing to say, given the timeline of when Clint Kubiak was at A&M, is he has familiarity with the program probably, which might have helped in this case.
Sure.
But so I'll defend Kirk in saying he should be ticked. Here's the thing. He should be ticked, and it should motivate him. It should make him say, screw this. I'm going to come in and show these guys. And here's what I want. And here's where I don't think that the Vikings did this on purpose, you guys. But this is what I absolutely think should happen. And it might be psychology 101 backwards in some ways. What have the last 2 years marked when it comes to Kirk Cousins? Disappointing starts, and then he catches fire. Kirk Cousins September.
When the pressure is off, yes.
Exactly, yeah, but the pressure's sort of off.
People love to cite like, oh, but he led the league in fourth quarter touchdowns when they were 1-5.
Right.
When the pressure is off, he shines.
And do you remember the year before that, there was, I think it was after the Stephon Diggs bolted on the team, Bears loss. And the next game, I forget who they were playing at home, but like there was
Giants.
legitimate questions about, is he going to be, booed, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But the point being is Kirk then shined both the last 2 years after bad starts. This should make him say, bleep it. I'm going to come in and show these guys that drafting Kellen Mond was a mistake. Yeah. That's what you want.
Yeah.
And Kirk, go do it.
Dex, you've executively produced something amazing here.
All right, so this is a minute and 20 seconds, but it's the RG3 clip talking about Kellen Mond.
RG3 is suddenly busy all of a sudden. Kellen Mond, Robert, what do we think of the player here? And then going to a situation where in training camp, he's going to look more physically impressive than the starter that's standing there at Kirk Cousins. What do we think about the spot for Kellen, too?
Yeah, I can tell you right now, number 8 in Minnesota is probably not real happy right now because Kellen Mond represents exactly what he doesn't do well, right? Kellen Mond's the big physical quarterback. He can run it, throw it all over the field. And I don't think that that's something that number 8 is able to do in Cousins in Minnesota. But I think that's what the coaching staff and the administration is looking for, should I say the organization is looking for. Mond had a lot of inconsistencies in his game. And the biggest thing last year was, like Connor talked about, he actually improved drastically. But some NFL evaluators looking over the course of all the years of his starts at Texas A&M, they're still a little skeptical about him. But I would tell you this, with great determination and great coaching, I think this is a guy that could be a real riser over the course of his career. And as you see, Cousins has been collecting checks there in Minnesota for a long time, taking them to 8-8, 9-7 seasons. If he has a bad start to the year like he did last year, I could see the fans and maybe the organization leaning towards Mond if he comes in and impresses.
Wow! Yes!
Oh, wow. 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 Collecting checks. Wow. RG3 coming in hot. Coming in hot.
Oh my God. He took
Can I say
that was a takedown.
Okay, total aside. Where has RG3 been in terms of like candidates to get on a microphone on like a Monday Night Football or holy crap, that's like he slings takes. Well, kind of.
But I mean, he's still getting checks. He's still playing, backing up.
Listening to that, his check will be a lot fatter if he's working for like CBS or ESPN Monday Night Football, right? I mean, that's an opinion and a half right there. Give that dude a check to be in the Monday Night Football booth.
Let's dissect what he just said, though. I mean, what he just said is highly aggressive. If it came from a talking head, you'd be like, okay, whatever. But this came from a guy, and I'm sure he doesn't love Kirk, but what he said is really intriguing. And here's the thing about this, too. So everybody who like gets mad at us, and it's a lot of Vikings fans, about you guys hate Kirk. You always bash Kirk. But what RG3 said there is the league's takeaway on Kirk. Like, that's not a Mackey and Judd thing. That's the league's takeaway on Cousins. And that's why I always come back to, I don't think, Phil, that he can win a championship. Because there's a lot of people employed in the league who know a lot more about the sport than we do.
Yeah.
Who have as harsh, or I think in a lot of cases, including that one, harsher opinions of what Kirk can do. And what's the phrase everybody says? He leads them to 500 and he draws paychecks.
Yeah.
That ain't the quarterback that you want. I just find it very intriguing that there are people in the league, so not outside, in the league, that basically echo and or go harder on Kirk than we are.
Yeah. I mean, listen, man, you and I have done, we kind of scale back on, we're not sold on Kirk. Let's just be honest. Like this show is not sold on Kirk. And I think people get mad at us sometimes. Listen, we're not I don't want to throw people under the bus because whatever, but like there are shows you're gonna find in Minnesota. They're gonna paint everything Vikings rosy and positive, right? Mm-hmm. And the mission statement of Purple Daily. And if you're new tonight, welcome. Phil Mackey, Judd Zulgad, Declan Goff, who clearly just went to go take a leak. You took a leak, right?
Back.
Yep, there it is. And your mic's off.
No, your mic's off.
Yep, there we go. We're getting settled here. Come on, jeez.
No one's
break here at least a little bit.
Right? But the reality is, the mission statement of this show is we want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before all of us die. Okay, it's been 60 years. They've never won a Super Bowl. And that's like the prism through which we talk about the Vikings. You guys are being negative. No, we're being the most positive, which is we want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl. And so sometimes we're hard on them. And sometimes it comes off as negativity, right? And so the things that drive me nuts, all right, I just pulled this up from a previous conversation, okay? So Kirk Cousins, for instance, okay? Under pressure, Kirk Cousins, under pressure, 51% completion, 72 passer rating, 17th in the NFL, okay? When the game is on the line, so fourth quarter overtime, inside 6 minutes, trailing by 2 scores or less. So game on the line, late in the game, inside 6 minutes. Kirk Cousins, 46th in passer rating since joining the Vikings, 45th in yards per attempt, and a 56% completion percentage. He also had, among non-mobile quarterbacks, so take off Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, et cetera, the most self-induced sacks of any quarterback in the NFL last year, Pro Football Focus. There are red flags that prevent you from winning at the highest level, and you're paying him to be Tom Brady. You're paying him to be Pat Mahomes. Dude, Pat Mahomes' cap hit this year is $7 million. Kirk is 31. So, like, you guys are negative about Kirk Cousins. No, we want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl. And Kirk is the most high-profile, in the spotlight player on this team. Is he the worst player on the team? No, like, he's a good player. But for the money he makes, they need more. In big situations, they need more. And so if you can get Kellen Mond in a year from now, and he makes $30 million or $40 million less to the cap, he can have more flaws. Just be good enough. Don't be Christian Ponder, right? And then get a left guard in here. Get a third wide receiver. Spend some money in free agency, right? So that's where I'm at with this thing. I mean, Kellen Mond gives you hope beyond Kirk Cousins and also allows you still to root for the Vikings to do as well as they can in 2021. It's a great draft pick.
So my hope is that this actually ticks off Kirk, and that Kirk comes to camp and Kirk says, "I'll show you." And Kirk gets off to a great start and things go well. And if things continue to disintegrate in Green Bay, you know what? The Vikings might win the division title. But let's flip this on its head and go down the RG3 path. And let's say that Kirk struggles and Kirk does not. In fact, you know what? Let's say the last 2 years become a third consecutive year of bad Kirk starts, which in those cases were you stink and Sean Mannion's your backup. So it's Kirk time. It's going to remain Kirk time. They're not going to change QBs. What would you think if Kellen Mond, because RG3 is right. The fan base, if Kirk gets off to a bad start, the fan base is going to react by saying, give the kid a chance, which might be premature beyond belief. But what do you think it means for the future of Spielman and Zimmer if Kirk gets off to a bad start and they at some point in time, even if it's not permanent, pull the plug and go to Mond?
I think it means Mike Zimmer's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it means Rick Spielman had a previous conversation without Mike Zimmer in the room with the Wolves. With the Wolves.
Oh, that's very possible, Dex.
Yep. And I think, I've told you guys this for 2 years. Only dysfunctional franchises fire GM, coach, and quarterback at the same time. I know there's a lot of fans, if the Vikings have a bad season, like, fire everybody. Fire them all, right? Two things. One, that's not like, it's a crapshoot. If you're going to try and find a quarterback, a coach, and a GM all at once, you're going to whiff on at least one, probably two. Like, that's just how it works. Mm-hmm. And two, the Wolves love the Giants and the Steelers model of Just be patient, stability, long term. Let's go an extra year or two beyond what we maybe thought with Mike Zimmer, right? And just like, let's not be the team that turns over players and coaches and executives on a regular basis. So,
correct.
So if things don't go the right way in 2021, I think Rick Spielman is safe now. In fact, I honestly, I think the drafting of Kellen Mond secures Rick Spielman multiple more years, like 2 more years at least, as Vikings GM. And I saw a picture yesterday. I might be wrong on this, but I saw a picture yesterday. I think Mark and Ziggy were in the draft room yesterday. I think
they were.
Okay.
Yep. No, you saw the picture, right?
And so they saw. Think about this. Okay, human element. Okay, those two guys saw Rick Spielman working the phones and wind up fleecing the Jets from a draft value perspective to trade back 9 spots to get the same guy that they were going to draft at 14. They were going to draft Christian Darrisaw at 14. They trade back 9 spots with the owners in the room and still get the same guy and add the 2 third-round picks, right? And so up close and personal, the Wolves saw Rick Spielman at his best in the draft yesterday. And then they saw him draft the quarterback of the future in Kellen Mond today. And so I feel like the last 2 days here, last night and tonight, have guaranteed Rick Spielman another year or 2 or more as GM of the Vikings. And Mike Zimmer might be the one to have some explaining to do if they don't perform up to the level defensively of all the moves they made in March. I think tonight, Rick Spielman separated himself, and last night, from Mike Zimmer with the Wolves in the room. That's my thought.
Play the reckless speculation sounder, because I'll go down your path.
Reckless speculation.
If there was a private conversation with Ziggy and Mark and Rick, there's also a chance that he told them, okay, we're going to give Mike what he wants in the free agent period, and we're going to give him a chance. Like, we're going to give him a defense again, and if he's right, we're going to be great, and it's going to be fantastic for all of us. So we're going to do that, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to draft offense, and I'm going to draft a QB. And in fact, if you want to go, if they met privately, go down that road, I would say that Rick also said, and if we aren't successful, if this doesn't work, if the defensive additions don't stop the bleeding, here is a list of the offensive-minded coaches I have in mind for beyond 2021.
Eric Bieniemy at the top, right?
Yeah, but I'm telling you, like Kellen Mond, if you're going to do this right, you didn't draft Kellen Mond on an island of, well, he'll just be the next guy and we'll plug him in. Like, he's a different, as RG3 accurately said, this is a different quarterback than Kirk. So, like, this is not that was my point before, is that he's going to come in and he's going to have a different skill set. So, like, he's going to have to be sort of trained off to the side in some ways for the transition to what he would bring, which is not what Kirk brings. But if you're Rick and you're doing, Phil, what you basically said, which is covertly coming up with a different plan for the future, potentially, then you would have in mind when you draft Mond, the offensive staff and the coach who would coach him, which would probably not be this staff.
Hey, by the way, the Packers have just traded up with the Titans right before the Vikings pick, so the Packers right now are on the clock.
Cowards.
Dastardly Packers.
Trade Aaron Rodgers, you cowards. You cowards.
Just release him. But anyway, so
release Aaron Rodgers, you cowards.
But I will take this to a point of there might be a thought process, because this current offensive staff, and Mike especially, as far as being a head coach, don't strike me as guys that would probably be the coach for Kellen Mond long term, if he's going to be the guy. And I preface everything by saying if he's going to be the guy.
Yeah, and it's a big if. It's a lot of hope. It's a lot of hope for sure. Packers. So wow, we've been on a tangent here. So the Packers have made their pick at 85. The pick is in. Not sure who it is yet. And the Vikings are on the clock officially at 86. So Vikings with their third pick here in the third round.
He hasn't traded back yet.
Amari Rodgers. Wait a second. Yes, wide receiver Amari Rodgers.
Okay, finally a wideout. Good for you guys. Yeah, way to go. Way to take an offensive player.
I think they took the wideout from Western Michigan too, though.
Okay.
So that's the second wide receiver they've taken.
About time.
Good for you guys.
Yeah, good for you guys.
So, boys, the Vikings are on the clock at pick 86 here. They need guard, edge rusher, long snapper, according to Declan.
SEC kicker.
SEC kicker would be great.
Any big leg kid from the SEC will take you.
According to ESPN.com, the best edge rushers on the market right now are Ronnie Perkins from Oklahoma, Patrick Jones II from Pittsburgh, Rashad Weaver from Pittsburgh, Dalen Hayes from Notre Dame, and Shaka Toney from Penn State. On the guard front, the best players available are Quinn Miners from Wisconsin Whitewater, Wyatt Davis. I see a lot of you guys in the comment section pining for Wyatt Davis here. Trey Smith, who I'm pining for Trey Smith from Tennessee, and then Deontay Brown from Alabama, and Ben Cleveland from Georgia. Vikings on the clock here. And, by the way, the Vikings have traded down. The Vikings have traded down. Oh,
yes! I told you.
Come on,
I
Rick.
told you.
Classic,
Screw
dude.
you, Rick.
I
Come on.
told you.
Everything good I just said about Rick.
I told you. I said,
Fire
write
Rick.
that down. They'll
Fire
trade
his
him.
ass right now.
It's all good. You took the
They
quarterback
got-
of the future, baby. I don't
They got
care.
a 5th-round pick and a 6th-round pick. It's incredible how a QB is a salve to all wounds, right? Like a quarterback pick is like it puts like a just a tourniquet on a wound. Oh man, you got a quarterback though, so that's great.
It was Buffalo that traded up here, it sounds like, with the Vikings. And so let me just scroll down here, see where we're at here.
Told you.
So Vikings, what do we pick? 86 here. So Buffalo traded. Wow. So Buffalo traded up from. Buffalo leapfrogged 2 Vikings picks from 93 up to 86. It looks like to be on the board here. So the Vikings are now going to have, I think, picks 90 and picks 93. So we're still a few picks away from the next Vikings pick. And at some point here soon, we've got some Vikings fans that are populating in our green room here, so we're going to turn this into Vikings Vent Line soon. Get your thoughts on... Dex, can we promote this now?
Yeah, absolutely. Promote it.
Okay. So, VikingsVentLine at gmail.com. We can't get to everybody, but we're going to get to some of you guys and get your thoughts. We like an hour to go here on this Purple Daily live stream of this second night of the NFL Draft. Phil Mackey, Judd Zulgad, Declan Goff. This is the most people we've ever had in a Purple Daily live stream.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Boom.
Seriously.
You guys are
Appreciate
awesome.
it.
You're finding us. I know there are mainstream channels that you can find. Maybe YouTube is a mainstream channel.
Where do you find a mug
for you guys?
Where do you find a mug like this? Where do you find this mug?
You don't find this
Come
here
on.
on YouTube. You don't get this on YouTube.
You don't find this Ric Flair shirt.
No, you don't.
Woo!
Come on now.
You think you find that on ESPN?
No. Daily Vikings Entertainment, Purple Daily. Please click the like button on the YouTube video to spread the word, and the subscribe button if you want future Mackey, Judd, Declan products in your timeline on a daily basis. 365 days a year of Vikings entertainment for you guys. And the Vikings still have a couple of 3rd-round picks and some 4th-round ammo to trade up here, boys. I have for you also some more Kellen Mond information here.
Alrighty.
Would you guys like his NFL.com strengths and weaknesses?
Football. Oh, give me all the Kellen Mond. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to go down the list here. Here are his strengths according to NFL.com. All right. 4-year starter with growing confidence, improved game management and ball placement, and also has become willing pocket passer who trusts his protection. Quiet lower body. Hold on.
Quiet.
I said
Quiet lower body.
Quiet lower body.
That's good.
I've heard that's good.
No happy feet.
Yeah.
That's good.
Delivers most throws from balanced platform.
Football. That's we got that.
Yeah. Wow. Alters arm slot to deliver ball around bodies and arms.
That's Patrick Mahomes right there.
Wow.
That's Patrick Mahomes drops down sidearm.
Oh my God.
Super handsome.
Quick wrist flick release generates tight spiral with quality zip.
Football.
I've lacked quality zip my whole life, so that's great. Good for you. Proud of you.
I think your hair has it.
Dangerous
that's true.
zone read option, relatively accurate throwing on the move, and also able to break the pocket and move the sticks with chunk play scrambles.
Football.
Yeah.
Oh, Kirk does that all the time. What are you talking about? Chunk play scrambles are like Kirk's middle name.
By the way, a couple people saying Rodgers just got traded to the Broncos.
Okay. Is that in our comment section though? Because there's been comment section. He got traded to the Lions. I just trepidations. YouTube audience, we love you, but fake news and fake reported trades.
You know where that comes from? That comes from too many of these.
Oh, okay. Well, all right.
We love some reckless speculation.
We do, but at the same time, easy, guys.
All right, do you guys want the Kellen Mond weaknesses?
He's got the magic wand. What are you talking about? Of course he's Kellen Mond.
He does, all right.
He just coined his nickname.
His deep throws are often flat and overthrown.
Ooh.
He's highly inconsistent in working with anticipation. He doesn't consistently make defenses pay for coverage mistakes.
Football.
He shies away from big play opportunities to make shorter throws and will miss late safety movement indicating incoming blitz.
Football.
Yeah, you have to learn.
Okay. Defaults to aiming rather than throwing at times.
That's a problem. Can't be aiming.
Football.
Can't be aiming.
Declan's right about that.
Yeah, no, you can't aim. Gotta trust the reads.
Just average attacking high-low route concepts, inaccuracy and indecisiveness reared ugly heads against LSU.
Declan's got something.
Breaking news.
Declan's got something.
Vikings have a pick at number 86. They have taken guard Wyatt Davis from Ohio State. So
That's
an
a great
offensive
pick.
lineman.
That's
Big pick.
Great pick.
Great
pick. Wow. This is okay. So the Vikings have landed a franchise left tackle, the future successor to Kirk Cousins, and maybe a day one starting guard in Wyatt Davis with their first 3 picks. Boys, this has been a great draft so far for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yep.
Gotta say.
And you know what? This has been I think it's probably fair to say that this has been, it feels like back-to-back pretty strong drafts.
Yeah. So Arif Hassan has been keeping track of he has like 60 different consensus, like all the big boards across the internet, right? Wyatt Davis, and this was the 86th pick, or I'm sorry, no, 90th? 90th. They traded 90th pick.
No, 86. So I think it was a false alarm on that trade. No, I think it's the 86. I think it was that trade was a false alarm. So this is the 86th pick that Wyatt Davis.
Fake news.
Classic.
Okay. So Wyatt Davis was the 53rd on the consensus board, the 53rd guy on the consensus big board of all the internet big boards, and the Vikings get him 33 picks later.
Football.
And it's now starting to make perfect sense. Courtney Cronin, our friend from ESPN, very, very much so. Sorry, Declan. Wyatt Davis played right guard at Ohio State. So, as she points out, this allows you to move Ezra Cleveland to alleviate Phil's concern, because we do not want Phil Mackey to be concerned. So, this allows you to move Ezra Cleveland back to
football,
the left side of the line, so the Predators can attack 2 rookies, and Wyatt Davis potentially. So now you're looking at Christian Darrisaw at left tackle, Ezra Cleveland at left guard, Garrett Bradbury at center, Wyatt Davis at right guard, Brian O'Neill at right tackle.
Oh, actually, yeah. Wow. So hold on. We have some Wyatt Davis. We have some exclusive audio from Brian Baldinger evaluating Wyatt Davis here. Okay.
Watch this throw here to Cameron Brayton. Little quick jam. Sometimes you just got to try the quick jam. The quick jam. Bam. Just get on him. Get on him as quick as you can. Boom. Then get off him. And then get ready to dance. Shuffle, slide. Shuffle, slide. You watch JPP right here and watch his ability just to slip. Like that. That's a little cross chop. Now, square the hips up. Bam.
The single best left tackle in the NFL in 2020 is Toronto.
Watch this throw here to Cameron Brayton.
Stop!
Quick jam. Little bam. Little punch. Knock him off bounds. You got to change it up. You get the Predator off bounds, and then you dance.
football,
yes.
football,
Then you dance.
All right, so how do you guys feel about the Vikings offensive line now?
Much better than I did. Look, I thought that they were not going to take Darisaw at 23, okay? So I was very concerned, and I thought that they were going to take a defensive end and that O'Neal might move to right or to left tackle or maybe Cleveland. I feel much better because now the left side of your line is filled in, not by Dakota Dozier, right? You've got potentially, and I say again potentially, but I like the gamble because I don't think it's a huge gamble, an 8 to 10 year left tackle, which this team has lacked for a long time. The only question mark to me, a true question mark, now is probably Bradbury, a rookie guard. But I mean, you don't. I keep saying this. It's not like you need a Steve Hutchinson guard. You just need good guards, which the Vikings didn't have until Cleveland at least started to play right guard last year. I feel much more calm about the fact that they are giving Cousins, pass protection wise, more of a chance, which in fairness to him, they do have to do.
Yeah. I mean, this draft has been aces for the Vikings. I just tweeted this. I mean, come on. A franchise left tackle in the first round, a future quarterback to take over for Kirk Cousins' bloated cap situation in the third round, and then a guy that was on the consensus, all of the big boards across the internet. Wyatt Davis was 53rd, and they got him 30 plus picks later. This has been a 53rd. An aces draft for the Vikings tonight on paper. I mean, they obviously go start to work. You got to prove yourself. Like Mike Zimmer said last night, I hate to anoint first day starting guys. You got to earn this thing. But this has been on paper and just an unbelievable draft for the Vikings. And I mean, how do you not stand up and applaud this? I mean, I hate to be a homer, and we are like the least homer Viking show ever. People bitch about us and unsubscribe because we're not homer enough, right? This has been a great draft for the Vikings. Meat and potatoes, left tackle, a guard that might start day one, either right guard or left guard. And I mean, the Courtney Cronin point, we've been bringing this up. I hate the idea of rookies starting at left tackle, left guard. And so if Ezra Cleveland can move to left guard and Wyatt Davis can start at right guard, and all of a sudden now you're pushing Mason Cole back to like the swing, like the sixth man off the bench.
Yes.
To take over at center or guard, right?
Yeah.
Like that's how you roll.
Yes.
With depth. This is a great selection. Rick Spielman is dialed in the last two nights. This is Rick Spielman's Mona Lisa here, saving his job potentially.
So far, what I really like about this into the third round from the Viking standpoint is this. And this has not always been the case. Nothing feels forced.
Yeah.
This doesn't feel like a panicked, oh my God, Cousins' contract is up. Let's just take a quarterback. If this works, awesome, it works. If it doesn't work, it's a good, this in some ways, and it's not an apples to apples, but quarterback-wise, this in some ways is very much like when they signed Kirk. Because I'll never criticize that move. Like that was an all-in move. It has not worked as planned, but it was an all-in move. The Kellen Mond pick right now is not a pressured move, but it is a good move. It's strategically, I think, Phil, it defaults to the term that you use a lot, which is the process. Like the process of this move and this draft is really solid. It's really good. And it doesn't feel like they've done anything where you roll your eyes and say, did you just take a running back in the second round and you've got Cook? Like this, it doesn't feel like that draft. And I think the most important thing to keep in mind, because I doubted this, I guess I owe the Vikings a little bit of an apology here. I doubted this. I thought that Zimmer would have a lot more of a say in these rounds so far and these picks. And because he got the free agent period and now Rick is being Rick in the draft, I think this works a lot better.
By the way, Zimmer got Chaz Surratt too. That was his guy clearly, right? North Carolina linebacker.
That's fine.
With the 87th pick, Kendrick Green, the guard from Illinois, goes off the board, And so he was one that we've had in the mix, but obviously the Vikings got Wyatt Davis, so they're out of the market for Kendrick Green.
Yep.
You guys want to? We got a bunch of fans in the green room here. Should we, for the first time in 3 hours, bring some fans into the show?
Let's do
do it. Should we go Alex in Texas here to start off with?
Our loyal listener, Alex. What's up, buddy? How we doing?
Hey, fellas. Can you guys hear me? I'm wearing headphones for the first time.
Yep, we got.
Like first time in your life, or
no, first time using this chat with headphones.
Okay,
sounds good.
Okay,
Alex is like, dude, I'm like 40, first time in my life ever wearing headphones. It's crazy.
By the way, Vikings just took edge rusher Patrick Jones at number 90 out of Pittsburgh.
Cool,
there it is
from Chris Thomas.
And we know how Andre Patterson is with late round defensive ends. He'll probably turn into another Daniel Hunter.
Hall of Famer, 100%.
Right. Yeah, I'm old school. I still write down each individual pick in my notepad. So
that's a Judd Zolgad move.
That's awesome. Good for you. Yeah.
So, hey, real quick, Alex, I got to be honest. I have to pee so bad.
Go, Phil.
I'm going to pee quick. You take my spot. Alex is the new co-host of Purple Daily right now. BRB.
So,
all right.
No, I'm ecstatic, man. I almost fell out of my chair when they took Mond. As someone who went to an SEC school, I follow SEC football. Kellen Mond, to me, he's better than Kyle Trask. It's not even close, in my opinion. Kyle Trask, he can move a little bit more. I think Kellen Mond's a little bit more looser than I think now that he's not being coached by Jimbo Fisher, he'll be a lot looser. He'll be more loosey-goosey. They nailed the first round pick with Darrisaw. Wyatt Davis would have went earlier if he would have never gotten hurt. He's a steal at this point. And North Carolina linebacker, South Carolina played against him. He moves all over the field. I'm ecstatic. This is probably one of the best drafts ever. And also Declan, when you get old like us, you're looking at the draft now. You look at the players and you look at the wives and the girlfriends of the players. You're like, man, they're nice. When you get to our age, you look at the moms. You go, man, he's got a nice looking mom.
Hey, I noticed that as well last night, okay? I'll save those takes for another podcast. I will not expose those right now, but I know where you're getting at, man. I feel you. I feel you.
I like this draft, too, because I feel like they've filled needs. They've done a good job. But as I told Phil, I don't feel like anything's been forced. Like, there hasn't been a pick where you're like, why would you pick that guy there? And I love the fact, to me, the strongest thing is, and I doubted this, but they started with Darrisaw, which they needed. And to give Rick credit now, since 2018, the Vikings have done a very good job of addressing offensive line in the first 2 rounds. And I mean, that used to be our gripe, and we weren't wrong. But the recent drafts, not all the picks have been great players, but the recent drafts have really made an attempt to address a position group where for a long time it felt like Rick was like, I'll take Beavers in the 4th round and see if that works. And we were like, it's not going to work, dude. That's a terrible move. So it feels like there's a purpose here, and I really like the approach.
Yeah, I feel the same. I don't think there's been any reach. Ponder, like you said, if Ponder was a 3rd round, 4th round pick, okay, fine. It didn't work, but you took a chance. But taking him first was definitely a reach. And Willie Beavers, I was never good. I never wanted that pick. Same thing with TJ Clemens. I knew that they weren't ever going to be any good. But and then also RG3 to me kind of sounded like a bitter ex-wife. But that's just.
I'm sure he's bitter about it. Yeah.
I mean, I know Kirk Cousins isn't Kirk Cousins may not be able to do the things, but Kirk Cousins was good enough to beat you out of your job. So he may not be as athletic, but he would beat you out of your job. But I'm not saying Kirk Cousins is the best quarterback, whatever. Like I'm just, that was my comment towards that. But yeah, no, I'm excited, man. And if Kirk Cousins doesn't turn out to be, he has another crappy year, save $30 million. The salary cap is going to go way up because the new TV deal, fans are going to be back. It's going to go way up. So not only do you get to save that, that extra $40 million, but then you also get to, have a cheap left tackle, a cheap quarterback, and with Daniel Hunter, I mean, if nothing happens with him and they re-sign him, you got money. Left tackle, quarterback, defensive end. Those are the top 3 positions. You're only paying top dollar for one of them. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. Great points, man. Great stuff.
Thank you, Alex.
Very much.
Enjoy you guys as always, and I look forward
awesome.
to the rest of the content. So
thank you, Alex.
Good stuff.
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate that. You know what?
Yeah, go ahead, Judd.
Just a quick thought.
Yep.
What if so if the Vikings do like Mond enough to jet his
Wait, how many?
4 down. Only 4. I had 5 down yesterday.
No one's saying anything. It's fine.
We're not judging, dude. Come on.
No. In fact, I'm going to go grab a beer before our next guest. But anyway, what if the Vikings like Mond enough to consider him the potential starter for 2022 and do sever ties with Kirk? I wonder if that's the thought process or flat out what they have conveyed to the Danielle Hunter camp. Because all of a sudden, a Hunter contract would be very simple. Like that it would not be a problem.
Yeah, that's the thing too. And here's the thing: would you rather have Kellen Mond plus Danielle Hunter for the next 5 years, or Kirk Cousins and no Danielle Hunter?
It's not, as long as Mond can play. It's not a choice. I mean, that's not a decision.
Dude, even if he can't play, like I'd be willing to just keep rolling the dice on quarterbacks. I mean, Danielle Hunter is among the best at his craft, and his position is one of the most, like, the 3 most important positions in the NFL. I think quarterback, left tackle, edge rusher.
Yeah.
And then from there, weapons, cornerback, etc.
Corners are important to it. Yeah, I agree.
Let's keep rolling here. We've been babbling for a long time here on
Excuse
Triple
me.
Daily tonight. The Vikings have finished their picks tonight unless they trade back into the 3rd round. Patrick Jones is the last pick for them in the 3rd round. So let's is it Jason next up here?
Yeah, we'll go to loyal listener Jason here, who was on Vent Line, I believe, just a few Sundays ago. Jason, what's up, buddy?
What's up, Jason?
Hey, X, nice to see you again. Mackey,
Nice to see you, man.
For the first time.
Jason, thanks for coming on, dude. Appreciate the support.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys always make my day better. So, what can I say, guys? This has been an amazing night.
Nothing. It's funny.
Quarterback of the future. Check.
Hold on, let's mute Judd here.
I did.
There we go.
Okay. Go ahead, Jason. Go
By the way,
ahead.
someone said drug break for Judd. I love it.
Drug break. Hey, Judd.
Oh, shoot. I got it.
Hit your
I got it.
Sorry, Jason.
Yeah, go ahead, Jason. I'm sorry.
So my theory is, you know what Rick did before this draft? I think he talked up to Zimmer and he said, you know what, Zim? I want you to sit down, shut up, eat some of that deer you brought with you from your ranch, and let me do my job.
Yeah.
Got our next quarterback. I fixed our offensive line, and you're just going to have to sit there and deal with it because you got all the defensive toys you wanted in free agency, and we're going to do it right this year.
I think you might be sort of right.
Dude, yep. No, and you know what? Like, here's the thing. Like, if you look at the totality of everything they've done, free agency, and then the first 3 rounds, that's how you do it, man. Like, that's how you fix the 2021 team. It's how you provide hope for the future.
Absolutely.
It may have been way too defensively loaded early on and made all of us feel uncomfortable about the offensive line, but it's hard to not feel really good about this year's team and then the future if this doesn't go well this year after what's happened tonight, Jason.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. And I told Dex when I did the Vent Line a couple weeks ago, I said, if they take another cornerback in the first round, I'm going to, lose my mind. And I'm so glad. I think they should have gone after Fields, but, that's all right. I'm glad we got Mond. He was the second guy that I would have wanted as far as a, potential future quarterback. I'm glad we got him. So.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Dude, Jason, thanks for coming on tonight. Appreciate the support and the kind words, and we'll see you on Vent Line on a future Sunday night episode here.
So just to recap here before we get to a couple more callers. So after not trading up in the 2nd round, right? And we thought maybe it was a mistake. So now the Vikings, after 4 third-round picks, walk away. Actually, I'll include Darrisaw here. Right now, the Vikings have made 5 picks, though, so far in the draft. Christian Darrisaw at 23, Kellen Mond at 66, Chaz Surratt at linebacker at 78, Wyatt Davis at 86, and defensive end Patrick Jones the second at 90. And you still have 6 more picks tomorrow. Yeah. I mean, this has been a home run.
Anthony Schwartz off the board. So he's the speedster. I believe he had the fastest 40 time of any player this offseason, and he went 91st to the Browns. So that pipe dream is gone.
Browns having a good draft, too.
So the pick that I will say don't let it fly below the radar is the Wyatt Davis pick. I think that's so incredibly important. Like, I can't tell you how well I have not slept with the prospect of Dakota Dozier still being a viable option at guard. And third round again. So if it works, awesome. If it doesn't, it doesn't kill you. But to get another lineman and to address and I mean, we do need to focus on the fact that since 2018, Rick has done a far better job, not perfect, but better job of addressing this, Phil. Because I mean, we used to go through the list and how long it had been since they took O-line help high in the draft. And I mean, there was a period of time where we asked, like, are you going to address this? And they have. But if you can now solidify both guard spots, both tackle spots, and center's a little bit of a question mark, but you tried there, I feel a lot better about, again, process and approach.
All right, let me ask you this. Do you guys want the Wyatt Davis NFL.com scouting report?
Not if you don't play the football sounder.
I mean, yeah, if you tease it up like this.
If you don't play that sounder,
it's like when someone asks
music.
It's like when someone asks me a question I would love to have something happen to. Yeah.
I'm not feeling enough enthusiasm. Do you guys want the Wyatt Davis NFL.com scouting report?
Football ready.
Then, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching at home, and for one third-round guard ready to step in as the savior to Dakota Dozier. Let's get ready to scout it!
I need Dexter to pretend Friday night at the bar, and he's just been asked, "Do you want my digits?" That's what this is. Friday night at the bar, you're drinking some seltzers, and a pretty young lady comes up and says, "You got great hair. Would you take my digits, please, and put them in your phone?"
If actually even just came up and spoke to me, let alone said the word digits, I'd still have to be comprehending what was happening. But yes, I appreciate the flattery, Judd. I really do. I
didn't say I'd do it. I just said that's what you should pretend Wyatt Davis's scouting report is like. Football. Let's hear it.
All right, very powerful lower body. Unrolls his hips into angle blocks, creating drive momentum.
Football. Baldy. Baldy is like, oh yeah.
Strains and can overtake one-on-one blocks in test of strength. Slides feet and hips into secure position post-contact. Football. Clamps in and contains the man across from him on base blocks. Looks to finish blocks with bad intentions.
Football. Bang. Against the Predator. Bang.
Bang.
Bad intentions. I mean, come on.
Watch this throw here to Cameron Brayton. Little quick jab. Little bam. Little punch. Knock him off bounds. You got to change it up. You get the Predator off bounds, and then you dance.
Football, yeah! Football!
Get some. Gotta eat.
Gotta dance.
Gotta dance with the bottle.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to Bill here, our next guest on what's now turned into Vikings Vent Line on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. Bill,
gentlemen, what's going on? I could listen to Baldy 24 hours a day.
Right?
Seriously.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's Bill, you ask,
you shall receive.
Let's do it.
Brian Baldinger doesn't just like football, he loves football.
The single best left tackle in the NFL in 2020 is Teron Armstead. I mean, I guess he didn't get the message on this shove right here about anti-bullying in America.
Football, yeah! Football!
I love it as much as I love this draft. I think this draft has gone perfect. I couldn't ask for much more. I look at one thing, Kirk. We all hate on Kirk. I hate on Kirk too, but I like Kirk. I don't love Kirk, but I like Kirk.
That's fair. Yeah.
Last year he had 100 less passes than the top guy, but was 6th in touchdowns, and the Vikings offense was 4th in touchdowns. You give him a top 15 line, I think Kirk cooks. I think Kirk will pick you apart just enough to, at the end of the year, we can get a couple first-round picks for him and trade him off and start Mond.
Bill, reckless speculation
Bill,
there. My goodness.
Bill, I love where you're going with this.
Bill, do you think Kirk Cousins? Do you envision Kirk Cousins ever holding up a Super Bowl trophy in purple?
This year, I could see it.
Or any year. Oh, wow.
I look at the reason why. So I look at Zimmer. Judd hates on Zimmer a little more than most people, but it's all good. I think Zimmer is one of the top 3 or 4 coaches that could win a Super Bowl without a great quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
I agree with that. Yes.
I think Kirk's contract has held Zimmer back.
Yes, that's 100% right.
That's true. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I think the defense.
Yes.
I think the defense this year is gonna be nasty. Mm-hmm. One, because 2017 they had a very good young to veteran ratio on that defense, and the last couple of years the defense has been either hurt or very young. And this year they have they have veterans, they have young guys, they have guys that have been there for a couple of years. And I think it's going to be nasty. I think it could possibly be better than the 2017 defense with a better offense.
Oh,
so that's
absolutely.
my take on that.
Do you know what I love about the opportunity that appears to be here for the Vikings? We are going to go into a season and watch them play where all excuses have been removed.
That's true.
Yeah.
Eradicated.
Right. I mean, blown off the face of the field. Like we're now going to go into a year where we can say to all of the most important people with this team,
get it done.
Okay, exactly. And, if you can't, we'll know.
One other thing, I think this draft proves that Zimmer has come to realize offense is important.
Or
like
did Spielman lock Zimmer out of the war room altogether?
All right, man. I get that. That's a possibility.
He's got the axe like in The Shining.
Red rum.
Here's Mikey.
Yeah, I get that. One thing, if I can write this down.
Oh, hold on. Sorry, the wrong page here. Okay.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
Okay.
Unprepared.
DJ Wanham will have at least 8 sacks this year.
Wow. Okay.
DJ Wanham is a stud, and they're
Dex,
very.
Can we
good.
add that? Can we put Bill?
Yeah.
Bill. Bill on the write that down resume.
So what was the official prediction?
At least 8 sacks. 8 sacks or more.
8 sacks.
Okay. There it is.
Write this down.
Got you.
Write that down.
All right, I like it. Bill, you brought the heat tonight. Thanks for coming on, man. We
Awesome.
appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me.
Get you on again sometime.
I appreciate it.
That's Bill here on Purple Daily, Vikings Vent Line.
2021 Vikings slogan, all excuses are gone.
It's true. Eradicated.
No more excuses.
Eradicated. Yes.
I absolutely love that.
Let's keep rolling through here.
All right.
Dex, who we got next?
Let's our loyal guy, Ben in Florida. Coach Ben, what's up, man? How we
Ben?
feeling after day 2 of the draft?
My man.
Hey guys, I love this draft so far. I think tomorrow will just be kind of icing on the cake. To the guy's last point, I don't think Rick is locking Zimmer out of the war room, but I think Rick probably went to Zimmer before the draft and said, "Hey man, if we don't really fix and address and really attack the offense, we're all getting fired. So yeah, so let's try and fix the offense." And one other thing, I think this draft certainly helps this team for 2021, but in 2022, if they say, you know what, we're going with Kellen Mond will have hopefully an average to above average offensive line. He will have Justin Jefferson to throw the ball to, and then you can get some other receivers, maybe Adam Thielen's still there. And we have forgotten about him throughout the entire offseason, but Dalvin Cook is still going to be there. So he's going to have a plethora of weapons and offensive firepower to work with, and probably a decent defense. Kellen Mond should be just salivating at this opportunity with the Vikings, because they're going to they have a system just set up for him to just walk in and have immediate success to see if he's the guy. So yeah. I love this draft. It's good for 2021 and future and beyond. But they've really invested in the offense, and that's what I'm proud of this team about.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And for the record, just out of curiosity here, just pulling up Kirk's Twitter account. So last night, 23 hours ago,
great point,
he retweeted the NFL's tweet of, "Hey, with the number 23 pick, the Vikings select Christian Darrisaw. Welcome to the Vikings, #Skol." No tweets so far tonight from Kirk Cousins. Just throw it out there.
You know what? With Kirk, I will say this: he has been good. He has just not been good enough, and that's just ultimately what it comes down to. Like there are a lot of teams that would like Kirk Cousins as their starting quarterback. He's better than most quarterbacks, but he's just not been good enough. And I think the Vikings have realized that. They say, "Hey, man, it was a nice run." I'm with you, Judd. I don't fault them at all for signing Cousins in 2018. Not at all.
It's a good move.
That was the right move to do at that moment. It's just not working right now.
Yeah, Ben, this comes down to what are your expectations as a fan as you follow this team? Do you want them to be good and flirt with playoffs, or do you want them to win the first Super Bowl in franchise history? And is Kirk Cousins good enough to lead them to a Super Bowl championship? And the jury is still very much out on that in big moments against the best teams.
Yeah, and you're watching teams like Tampa. They just returned all their starters, and they have, even though an aging Tom Brady, and I ask fans all the time, like, what do you want? Do you want to just be good, or do you want the Lombardi Trophy?
Absolutely.
I want the Lombardi Trophy. That's what I want.
And guys, can we? Can we for a second? Because tonight is all about hope. Can we dream for a second about this offense if it's led by a quarterback who is mobile and developing? and Ben brings up the name of Dalvin Cook, who I've always felt is a marvelous player and is underutilized in ways he could be used, okay? He is a running back, which is fine, but that's the old school. Let's hand him the rock. But think about his athletic skill set. And what I like about him is, and I've always said this, he's a way more complete player than Adrian was. Adrian was the old bell cow running back.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook can do a lot of things. So let's dream for a second. And let's dream of an offense run by a guy with the Kellen Mond skill set. Let's say it develops, okay? Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Irv Smith, Dalvin splitting out at times, way more than he does now. An offensive line that provides protection, which is adequate. And an offensive mind who melds all of these things together to give you an offense that is from 2022, not 2003. Like, think about the potential here when you move beyond what the Vikings, 2nd down and 3, what are we going to do? Oh, we're going to run the football. Think about the differences here. And if Dalvin splits out, goes in motion, I'm just saying there's a world of opportunity here that could make this an up-to-date, like what we watch Chiefs games, and it's in a different league. Like, you can't dream about it. I wonder if the Vikings would do that, because they won't. Think about if they did. Let's dream for a moment.
I think they have a great chance of maybe getting to that dream. Maybe not next year, but the year after. They set themselves up, and M. Zimmer may not like that or accept that, but somebody's got to tell them that, hey man, we're gonna have to. If we can get an offense averaging 30 points a game, we are gonna win more games than not.
Yeah. Ben, great stuff, man. You've been a loyalist, even going back to the old radio version of Vikings Vent Line, and we appreciate you making the transition to the Purple Daily YouTube channel, and we'll talk again soon, my friend.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you, guys.
All right, that's Ben in Florida here on what's now transitioned into Vikings Vent Line. Dex, should we just keep going here?
Turn your mic on, Dex.
God, yes, absolutely. Let's keep going.
There's
the problem is
Declan's done like 100 things behind the scenes that nobody even knows that have been amazing.
The problem is he's 6 seltzers in.
So no, that's not why. That is like maybe 15% of the reason why this mic won't turn on. I said 15. I credited some. I did not say 0. I said 15. The problem is when you click it, sometimes it still doesn't turn back on, so you have to do a double click. I'm not going to explain myself anymore. Let's go to Eric. Eric, my guy who was on Vent Line the other day. I believe Eric is in
Eric
Alabama.
Is rocking some great facial hair there. I'm gonna give some facial hair props to Eric right now.
But speaking of muted microphones, Eric, your mic is muted, my friend. You just got to unmute your mic there on the tab.
Go.
There you go, brother.
Now. Yeah.
How does that work?
Oh, there you go.
Is that better?
Love it.
Boy.
Yes,
there
sir.
You go. Yeah, love it.
Sweet. Y'all, I'm so excited about the draft.
everything that the Vikings just did, I'm absolutely stoked about, including Kellen Mond, who a couple weeks ago I was on the Vent Line with Dex. I did not agree with him about picking up a developmental quarterback. Completely changed my mind. And I'm not even a Kellen Mond fan. I love it. I love the pick. I love putting pressure on Kirk Cousins. I love the Darisaw pick in the first round. I thought Wyatt Davis in the third round is an amazing pickup. It wasn't that long ago. It was not that long ago that a lot of people had Wyatt Davis as a first round pick.
Yeah. Yep.
Exactly right.
Wasn't that long ago. It was, a matter of fact, I think the only reason that he slipped into the third round was because of the injury that he suffered late there. What was it?
Yep.
In the it wasn't in the national championship game. It was the game before, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. That sounds right.
But yeah, it's been a great draft so far.
Yeah, I think like it's really hard to sit here and not feel good. I mean, there's still some holes, and they still have some things that they have to absolutely. I think like if I'm going to nitpick, interior pass rush is a thing still, and they still. I don't think they have somebody to really drive interior pass rush on third downs. But like that's a much better spot to be in with nitpicks than where we were like in week 6 last year. So all things considered, they've improved the 2021 squad immensely in the last 2 months, and they've given you hope, Eric, with Kellen Mond for life after 2021. So for me, like, I mean, it's an A. The whole thing is an A. The free agency period combined with the draft has been an A for the Vikings so far, Eric.
Yeah, absolutely. And heck, I'm just glad they didn't draft Mac Jones. And I'm an Alabama fan.
You and Judd. So you and Judd are just you're an Alabama fan and you're out of Mac Jones?
Yeah, look, I'm an Alabama fan. I've been rooting for Alabama since we moved to Alabama. And that was in 99. Completely out on Mac Jones.
Did you move from Minnesota after the Gary Anderson miss?
You know what? I wish I did. No, I've been a Minnesota fan my entire life, but I only lived in Minnesota like the first 6 months of my life.
I was gonna say you're not that old. Why don't you like Jones? Like I felt that he just popped up too much and San Fran drove the conversation. But why weren't you in on Mac Jones?
Because he doesn't do anything that's all that spectacular. There's nothing about Mac Jones that impresses me all that much. Mac Jones was throwing to amazing wide receivers behind an amazing offensive line and handing off to an amazing running back, playing for an amazing coach. I've been an Alabama fan for quite a few years. Trust me. Like, Mac Jones is not special.
Yep. No, they've had a lot of Mac Jones type guys who just look amazing behind NFL players up and down. Eric, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. We'll get you on some other time here on Vent Line on a Sunday night, and we'll talk soon, man. Let's keep rolling here, boys. This has been a blast tonight, man. What a fun night of Vikings football drafting. Dex, who's next?
Let's go with my man Shannix, who's just chilling right now. Shannix,
hey
what's up?
guys,
Yeah.
What up?
I'm so happy I can sleep now. I'm so happy. I've been watching you guys doing so many mock draft after mock draft, getting so many 2.0, 5.0, 5.1. Right. Yep, I love that. I love that part too. So, yeah, I'm so glad that Ricky Trebacks watched your show and actually decided to listen to you guys and try to basically draft as much as possible of what they actually need instead of what Simmer wants or what they usually get. So I would also say, like, on paper, perfect. As again, we don't know, we can't tell. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it, but for a draft that I rarely go into because I'm like, oh, you're gonna probably draft 10 billion quarterbacks and then get to 10 billion kickers, and we're like, okay, whatever. And then one of them actually turns out to be good. But this one, as of now, it's pretty good, and it actually makes me feel like Ricky is actually have something in his mind.
Dude, I legitimately like so Chanix, Judd, Dex. I said this like a half hour ago. I think Rick Spielman, with these last 2 nights, legitimately bought himself at least another year or 2 as GM of the Vikings.
Yep.
And maybe he whiffs on, like, maybe all these guys are whiffs. Maybe Darrisaw's a whiff. Maybe Kellen Mond's a whiff. But, like, the idea of the draft he put together impressed ownership enough, I think, to give him a stay through 2022. My thoughts.
And what he did was very effortlessly. He didn't have to trade a lot. Crazy stuff. Yes, we weren't able to get Justin Field, but compared to what the Bears had to give him, we got what we wanted without doing anything, and we got some more. Like, that's music to our ears, and that's the thing to us as Vikings fans. Like, we haven't been really lucky with first round quarterbacks, so maybe we would be good for a third rounder. We don't know. Yeah, so at least you're giving that chance for us. We're rooting for it. I'm finally proud to wear this Viking jersey and Skull Bikes.
Oh, look at that!
Skull.
Oh, no, that's signage.
Yeah,
I love
absolutely,
it,
man.
Love it, Chanix.
Go, Chanix! Come on, sing songs.
Fight.
Yeah,
Chanix, we appreciate you and your loyal followership of us here on Purple Daily, man. We'll talk again soon, all right?
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Good night, you guys.
Thanks, Chanix.
You too, man.
Love
you. I know what the Wilfs said to Rick. They said, Ricky, don't draft that corner. You've got too many already on your roster.
God.
Draft a quarterback in the 3rd round.
I am a mark for any Steely Dan reference. I'm here for it. For sure. All right, so just real quick before we get to a couple more Vikings fans here, our buddy Pulford Skoll is coming up next. If you've been hanging out with us tonight, if you're watching right now, you can help us so much by clicking the like button and the subscribe button on the Purple Daily YouTube channel, and we'll give you, in return, daily Vikings entertainment in your feed. Off-season included, we promise, 365-plus episodes per year of Purple Daily, Apple, Spotify, scorenorth.com, and the Purple Daily YouTube channel. And while we're here, Mackey and Judd, for all your other Minnesota sports needs, daily as well. Apple, Spotify, and Score North YouTube channel, Score North MN. So, Dex, any other final words from you promotionally before we get to our next Pulford Skoll guest?
Follow us on Instagram, Score North. We've got over that 7,000 mark. Appreciate you guys. We want to get that up even higher. So if you want to hit us up on Instagram, by all means, follow us on Instagram. We'll do some Instagram lives too in peak moment. Like, literally, the draft is taking place right now, and the Twins are going off, so that's always great. The Wild, the last couple games, I don't want to talk about it. But at the same time, go, Victor Rask, go, pull it up, top line. But yes, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You know where we're at. So should we go to our guy, Pulford, here?
Pulford, let's do it.
My man, Pulford, what's up, brother?
What's up, guys?
All right, are you going to come on here and crap on this draft now, or are you happy?
No, he looks happy.
No, we're happy. Hey, look, we're rocking.
Dude, that dip, that's a rock star dip you have in right now, too.
Well, he always has got a horseshoe in that mouth right there. Yeah, I love it.
Hey, speaking of horses, Dex, I can't wait for you to come down here to Tennessee to ride some horse.
Dex, come on, Dex. Come on, Dex.
I'll throw one in after this draft is over, Pulford, but I literally cannot. I can't even imagine going on a horse right now, okay? I'll throw in a dip after this. That's fine, but I cannot do a horse, dude. I absolutely cannot.
Hey,
I just
can't do it.
And what is it, 50K, and you're coming down here to Tennessee?
That's
we
right.
need 50K subs. 50K subs.
At 50K, yep. I'll gladly.
Hey, let's get it up, subscribers. Let's get it up. Hey, we got 3 points tonight. Hey, at the first one, we got NFC North drama. We got Vince McMahon. Sorry, Phil, you have to sit out on this one. And then we got a Kellen Mond. Okay. So we'll start with some NFC North drama, right? We got the Aaron Rodgers saying, "I might just retire. You guys don't trade me, I'll just retire."
Yep.
Love it. Love it. He says, "You know what? I don't want to be here. I don't want to be a part of you guys no more. Trade me or I'll just retire." You got to love that. And then we get to play Jared Goof twice a year.
Yeah.
Declan Goof and Jared Goof.
Oh, man.
Jared Goof twice a year. And then you guys know the Bears are fixing to screw up Justin Fields so badly. Week 1, they're going to be like, Andy Dalton's a starter. And then they're going to be like, oh, wait, no, we should play Justin Fields. And then week 2, it's going to be Justin Fields. No, wait, we should put in Andy Dalton. And they're going to screw it up horribly. And I love it. I absolutely
You're
love
right.
it.
You're exactly right. I think they're going to – I think that they're one of like 4 teams that Fields should have absolutely said, please don't draft me. Just don't draft me. Because you guys are going to –
Please, God. Yeah, stay away, you bastards. Yes.
The Packers drama, that hearing that yesterday has changed my opinion of the conference slightly, but the division totally.
Yeah.
It really has.
I agree. Pulford, we love you.
Hey,
Thank you
hold
for
on.
being a. Oh,
Hold
go,
on, Phil.
go,
Hold
go,
on.
go.
We got 2 more.
Go.
Hey, we got Vince McMahon. Hey, Vince McMahon, they're going to bring him in as a special guest. They're going to line up Dakota Dozier, Drew Samia, Sean Mannion, Jake Browning on the 50-yard line at US Bank Stadium. Vince McMahon's going to trot out, and he's going to stand right next to Rick, and he's going to go, "You're fired."
Kiss my ass.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Hey,
Can we get Rick Spiller to join the Kiss My
Ass club?
they're all fired. You're
Judd, are you familiar with the Kiss My Ass Club?
Oh, yeah.
No, I've seen you're
So
fired.
it would be like if Rick Spielman was mad at some of his employees, and instead of firing them, he demanded that he pull down his trowel and they kiss his ass on live national television.
They're all gone, and we're bringing in Vince McMahon to do it. Hey, we got Wyatt Davis. We got Christian, I believe it's Garrison, right? Christian Garrison?
Christian Garrison. Yes, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, Garrison Keeler.
Well played, Pulford. Well played.
Hey, and then lastly, all I want to know is our new future QB, Kellen Mond. I'm so pumped about that. Hey, guys, I need to know, though, is he capable and able and willing and ready to sit behind center and go, "Ready,
Do we have that?
I don't know if we do. I think we do somewhere in the deep
archives. Okay.
Yeah, we do have this.
You like that?
There we go.
Yeah, there you
Love
go.
it, brother.
There you go. All right. Pulford, love you, brother. See you next time on Vikings Vent Line, my friend.
Good stuff, Pulford. Enjoy the dip and the alcohol. Talk to you.
See you guys.
Bye.
All right, Pulford Skoll. All right, let's wrap it. One more guest here on Vikings Vent Line, Dex.
Yeah, let's go to Leanne. Leanne, first time Vent Line guest. What's going on, Leanne?
What's up, Leanne?
What's up?
I'm enjoying the draft. You remember Dave from South Carolina?
Oh, wow. We got a family affair here.
We do. He drugged me into the Vikings fandom.
Very nice.
Wait a second. So Dave from South Carolina is going to forfeit his chance to talk? Wait a second.
I know.
I'm in Tennessee now, guys. We moved to Tennessee and we got married. So we're
congratulations.
Excited. Yeah.
Thank you.
Love it. All right. Well, what were your combined thoughts on the Vikings draft tonight?
Everybody keeps saying Spielman's great and good, but I don't know. I mean, we've not been to the Super Bowl, and it's just, hey, if we can get there, sure. But I mean, proof's in the pudding. I'm just waiting to see us get further along than what we've gotten even last year. That was disappointing last year.
That's fair. I mean, he's been here. I mean, Rick Spielman's been here for a decade and a half, and they keep coming up short of the first Super Bowl championship in franchise history. So I feel you on the frustration. Kellen Mond might be the franchise quarterback of the future, though, after tonight. So your joint thoughts.
Maybe.
Well, let me give you my thoughts, Phil.
Wait, Dave, you have thoughts? Wait a second.
These last 2 drafts are championship drafts. I am on the train. I will be in Cincinnati. We'll be in Cincinnati this year and in Charlotte, and maybe we'll see you guys there. But I think we're on the right track. I think things are moving the right way. And whether Zimmer's there or not, this roster in the next year or so is going to be ripe and ready for an offensive coach, or we're going to actually finally break this thing down. So we'll see. I like it.
Love it. Awesome. Well, Leanne, congratulations to keeping Dave from South Carolina as brief as he's ever been on Vikings Vent Line. We love Dave.
It's a
birthday boy, right? We got a birthday boy.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, man.
Not far behind you, Judd. I'm at Big 5-0.
Oh,
congratulations.
Wow.
That's a major achievement.
I know. I'm still waiting for that championship. I know.
It's all downhill from there, but it's a major achievement.
All right. Thank you
guys.
both. Appreciate you both. All right.
Appreciate you guys.
Let's
That's awesome.
keep rolling here. We got a couple more here.
Hey, another loyal guy, Darian, my man. You're back on Vikings Vent Line. What's up, man?
Unfortunately, I'm joined the old angry group. You're not gonna like what I have to say today.
No, let's do it.
It's your place,
I don't like Kellen Mond. I've watched him play in the SEC. He's done nothing, and I feel like I guess it's the same as having Kirk Cousins. For me, saying just in general, I don't see a big difference. I don't understand why we got Chaz. We could have got Chaz at like maybe the 5th round. And I am happy we got a guard and we got a tackle. So we haven't gone away from that.
So Darian, let's focus on Kellen Mond here. So what is it? Because I'll be honest, like I wasn't watching all of Kellen Mond's games last year. What do you not like about Kellen Mond?
He doesn't take chances. As far as downfield, and maybe it may have been by design, or maybe it's just something that he does. But I see like maybe I don't want to be over dramatic, but maybe Tavares Jackson 2.0.
Ooh. You know what? I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. All right. So that sounds terrible, but you know what? The Vikings once went 10-6 and won a division and went to the playoffs with Tavares Jackson. So like
that is very true.
So you can do it. You can do it. And the Vikings have been much worse with Kirk Cousins. So
that is very true.
All relative.
That is very true. Very true.
But the key thing to me with Mond is this: he's a 3rd round pick. Okay, he's going to develop. He's going to develop, and behind the scenes, they're going to get a pretty good feel for who he is next year. You don't have to be wed to him though. Like the Tavares thing that became frustrating with Brad was sort of like Brad's guy, and Brad was like, "He's my guy. He's my guy. He's going to start." And after a while, I was like, "No, just move on." But
that's the other Vikings fan.
That's the other. She loves Kellen Mond, from what it sounds like. She loves Kellen Mond.
She's like, dude, Darian, you're a moron, dude. Come on now.
yeah, let's give him a chance.
But I will say this: he is better than the current guy that we have at backup.
Well, yeah, he's a tree stump. He's a tree stump, for God's sake. Come
on. So I do have a question. So as far as I guess. Because I was hoping to really find trade up to get like a really big time 3rd wide receiver guy, and they never came. So as far as who's left, who would you want to look for towards that? Because it seems like everybody's pretty much gone.
Man, I wanted Schwartz, I really did, and he went already. I wanted speed guy, 3rd wide receiver, send him down the sidelines. I mean, I don't have a great answer after Schwartz went off the board. So, you know what? Here's an answer. Larry Fitz. Underneath, 3rd down, slots. Cardinals drafted wide receiver tonight.
Don't laugh. That's an absolutely great idea.
Larry Fitz. He's
that
a
is
free
very
agent.
great. I like it.
But great in the locker
another
room.
thing too. I think I was also upset because they took Chaz. I think Dylan was still on the board. Dylan Moses still on the board, and I watched Dylan Moses play. I mean, he got hurt the prior year. Before he got hurt, he was awesome. and then it took him a while to kind of get himself back together. So I'm trying to figure out how we went for a guy that was playing quarterback that turned into a linebacker.
I don't know that. Yeah.
By the way, some commenters are saying in terms of SDSU, so Shy Smith and then some other guys are on the board too. So listen, Darian, we got to run. We're up against an actual clock here, so we're gonna say goodbye. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
We'll talk
Appreciate
again
it, man.
soon, and we'll get you on Vent Line again sometime. All right, appreciate it. Let's go one more here.
All right,
Travis.
This is redemption. Travis, you
Travis.
came on here yesterday wanting
60. You have 60 seconds. You have 60
Yeah, no, I'm
seconds
gonna
because
be
we gotta
short.
go.
If I get a chance on Sunday to talk on Vent Line, that'd be great. I'm happy. I'm happy because we have a future now to look forward to see what we can do. And I know the person previously doesn't like Kellen Mond, but I mean, I don't know much about Kellen Mond either, but he's one guy that I wanted. I didn't want Kyle Trask. I'm surprised that Tampa scared me in terms of thinking they were going to take quarterback, which they did. But then taking Kyle Trask made me think that the Vikings were going to do the very next thing. And if I get a chance to talk about it on Sunday, that'd be great. I'm done, but thanks, guys. I'm happy.
Boom. All right, Travis.
Hey, Travis. Love it.
Travis, pretty good. Travis out.
He's like,
Self-realization.
He's
Good
like,
for
I'm
you.
just gone. I'm gone.
Yeah. I love
Travis.
it.
Mic drop. See you later. Bye.
I mean, I got three people lined up like normal, but I'm feeling like because it's so hot, I might have to turn it into like a classic vent line, like a whole full room kind of a thing at this point. I think I'll have to. I'll have to.
Yep. So all right. So we have 1 minute left here. Judd, final thoughts.
Very effective draft. Does not feel forced. Quarterback of the future potentially, but if he's not, he's a third-round pick, so it's not going to come back and bite them in the ass. I think that this draft is offset how I felt about the free agency period, which is defense. When are you going to address offense? Clearly, they pivoted and have done that so far through 2 nights. I really like how this is unfolded from a positional standpoint. Even if we don't know the players that well, the positions they're filling are very smart, and I love how it started. The Darisaw pick to me is a home run.
Yep. I agree with everything you said. My thoughts are, thank you to every Vikings fan who came and watched tonight. This was the best night. Last night was the best night in Purple Day history. Tonight surpassed it because of the drafting of Kellen Mond. So please subscribe to Purple Daily YouTube and also subscribe to the podcast feed anywhere you find podcasts. Purple Daily, daily Vikings entertainment and takes, etc. The Vikings helped their team for this year and beyond tonight and last night. It's been a great 2 nights of drafting. I'm here for it. Rick Spielman, nice work, buddy. Congratulations. Declan, your final thoughts.
Final thoughts are, number 1, brilliant move to trade back, because if you don't trade back, you don't get Kellen Mond. Right? I mean, they got that pick from the New York Jets. That was the Jets' pick. So if you don't trade back, you don't get Kellen Mond. You didn't trade up for the round 2. You didn't waste that capital to do that, and you still walked out with a quarterback, an offensive lineman, a linebacker, and a defensive end. I mean, seriously, I know you shouldn't judge drafts after 1 day, but yeah, this is a DX. Are you ready? Sometimes you just got to look to the click, and I'm looking right at you, Rick Spielman, and this is absolutely it. I heard I couldn't cut the mustard. Well, guess what, Green Bay Packers? You suck, pal, and I'm ready. I'm absolutely in.
Oh, boy, cut him off. Cut his mic. Now really cut his mic. He's been cutting his own mic. Cut his mic.
Just check the seltzer. All right, we got to run. Great night tonight. Tomorrow,
thank you.
We're back with a recap of the full draft tomorrow. Vent Line with Declan. Thank you so much. TCL, enjoy more of what you love with TCL. Mackey, Judd, Declan, executive producer. Vikings going all the way, either this year or beyond with Kellen Mond. We'll see. Thanks for hanging out with us.